welcome to DCU Daily. Here, another day, one more day technically for, until Supergirl is here, even though we did a review yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to look at that, then you can go back to yesterday's stream and watch us do our non-spoiler review. Well, I assume some people caught it today because of Thursday previews. It doesn't officially come out till tomorrow, so obviously we won't be talking about it tomorrow either. We will be talking about it Monday for any spoiler reviews because we want to give people a chance to see it. So, just letting you know. But not just Supergirl news today. We have tons of other box office news, mainly in regards to Disney. Despite a rather rocky start with The Mandalorian and Grogu on the Star Wars side of things, it did, have a good thing with Hoppers on the Pixar side of things. And then, now we're kind of trudging along, and with now Toy Story 5 with Pixar, the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day, we'll see if Disney can dominate the box office. Then, of course, we have MCU Weekly. Speaking of Disney, we have a little bit in regards to X-Men 97, and then a bit of Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, we're going to be talking about those. We're going to be talking about a bit of Movie Talk Madness. More stuff came about in regards to the Annecy 2026 convention kind of thing. I don't know what to call that, but Annecy. And then even though it's not a movie, it's still noteworthy for the movie side of things, I guess. Peppa Pig has gone through some controversies apparently in regards to AI, so we're going to be talking about that. And then a little bit about the Odyssey. So that's going to wrap up Movie Talk Madness. Then we're going to get into our quick hits. And then DCU Daily, the star of the show. As always, we have our DC quick hits. We have a lot of animation news in regards to DC. We've gotten 3 more greenlit animated shows for DC. So we're going to be getting into a lot of that. And then finally, to round it off, we're going to be getting into more Supergirl stuff in preparation for the wide release in America and a couple other countries for tomorrow. Yes, Thursday night previews, but we are going to be getting into the official release tomorrow, but still more social media marketing and the such. So before I talk too much, let's get into the show proper.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number 2.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Boy, guys, we are into the news. We are into the steady news. I am, of course, your host with the most, John. Lovely to see you all. Of course, we have some people in the chat. Got D. Cole. We got Arcade. Let's get this road on the show. That's not how that works, but okay. Monique actually went out to eat. Well, I'm curious still what you ate because you seem to have good taste, even if you're not making it yourself. So I'm curious about that. And yeah, I don't know how a movie can flop when it has yet to be fully released. It's just people be hating. Now, will it be a flop? Most likely, unfortunately, but we can't call it a flop just yet. So, but figure drawing is on the opposite side of that spectrum. Thanks for that, buddy. Then we have Terrence saying hello. Steve, hello. Well, I mean, he voiced his reasoning as to why he thought he was the best choice. So yeah, cool. Dan's here.
Hello.
You don't get an introduction. You were late.
No.
So
I was late by what, like 2 minutes? Sorry.
All good.
No, but that's fair. Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about the whole box office stuff. I think when we get to the DC news, because, yeah, it's not looking pretty for Supergirl at the box office, unfortunately.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
But we'll get into that. Like, I don't think we need. It's not all doom and gloom, but I mean, we got to talk about other box office before we get that far, though. So
Yeah,
let's.
we got to talk about how Disney is once again killing it, as always.
Yeah. It's oh, hello, Johnny Rico, how you doing? Yeah, Disney became the first studio of 2026 to cross $3 billion worldwide, thanks to, of course, Toy Story 5. You got Devil Wears Prada 2, even Mandalorian and Grogu, and as well, if you scroll down in this article, John, they even count in
Hoppers as well.
Well, Hoppers, of course, and then they actually still had a leftover success, because movies at the start of the year, like the Avatar Fire and Ash, and Zootopia 2 were still playing when the year turned over from 2025 to 2026. Also, Send Help, which is 20th Century Studios, but still kind of, it's all under the same umbrella. So all of these movies added together to already give Disney $3 billion at the box office. That makes them pretty much far and away the biggest studio at the box office this year so far. Of course, they have plenty of big ones still coming out. Even if Moana doesn't do really well, I'm sure it's going to make some money. And then they have the Ridley Scott movie, The Dog Stars, which actually kind of sounds really interesting. Then you have the other Walt Disney animated movie, not Pixar, this is Walt Disney Animation Studios Hexed, which we talked about not too long ago. And of course, the big one, the big kahuna, is Avengers Doomsday. It's weird because, like, with a movie like Spider-Man Brand New Day, I don't know if the box office counts it, because it's mostly a Sony picture, so I don't know if the box office total counts for them so much. So anyway, but that being said, Disney has been the #1 studio at the box office 9 out of the last 10 years. The only year Disney was not was the year Top Gun Maverick came out. Remember, that year was Paramount had a really good year, and Paramount was #1. Paramount's the only studio that's beaten Disney at the box office. Now, before this 10-year or 9 out of 10 year reign, I remember Warner Brothers used to be really popular because they had Harry Potter, they had Lord of the Rings, they had like the Dark Knight trilogy, like all those movies were giving Warner Brothers the edge. But obviously we are, firmly beyond that. That is all well, in our past. So, so there you go. By the way, Monique saying she got a grilled cheese hamburger with tomato soup and a giant salad with chicken and balsamic reduction. Wow. That is impressive. You know what? That is impressive. Steven saying,
I want to know what restaurant you went to. God damn.
I'm guessing Steven is singing us a song there. And then Monique saying the algorithm knows I like Georgian cricket. It just played a cat food commercial for me. Funny you say that. I'm setting up a new like auto feeder for them for like their soft food. So it's gonna I have 3 meals worth of food it will save up for them. So that's yeah, it's gonna be nice. Hopefully, I got 2 of them because one for each kitty. Applebee's, okay. Applebee's is good. That's a good place to have some nice dinner. And Decol, yes, we will talk about Batman later. But John, speaking of box office, Disney, tooting its own horn on Instagram. They do include Spider-Man Brand New Day here as well, because it is Marvel Studio produced, even though Sony is the one distributing it. So Sony, I don't know if they split the profits 50-50, what the deal is. Nobody really knows. But I mean, Mandalorian and Grogu is still playing, like Disney usually does. They'll leave movies in theaters for months at a time, as they should. But Toy Story 5 is the talk of the town. And then, of course, Spider-Man is probably going to be the biggest movie of the summer. And then you add into that, we talked about Hexed and Avengers Doomsday. I mean, John, do you think Disney is going to be the biggest studio in terms of highest grossing at the box office this year? Like, are they going to repeat? Because, I mean, they're ahead now. But, like, do you have any idea, like, if anybody else can catch up? Because I'm trying to figure out, like, if anybody else.
Because, like, fucking Disney owns half the goddamn studios and half of the IP at this point. That, like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, they got Star Wars, they got Pixar, they got Marvel. Like that even though like Mandalorian and Grogu didn't do as well as they would have hoped, it's still making money. And like Toy Story, I almost said Toy Story 3. Toy Story 5 is
I keep
just
wanting to say
fucking like obliterating everyone around it. And then, you know, they got like literally the biggest hero ever with Spider-Man, and then Doomsday is probably going to make $1 billion, and then you have all these other like indie hits that are probably going to do pretty well, but not like hugely well. So it's like, yeah, nobody's fucking going to come close. Supergirl is like down, like not as well as we would have hoped. Dune, while that's probably going to do well, cool, great. And then Clayface might have something. Isn't Practical Magic 2? Isn't that Warner Brothers?
That is Warner Brothers. Yep.
Then you have, I think, End of Oak Street. You have like all these much smaller movies that might turn a profit, but like not. It's not gonna. WB is not gonna have like the gargantuan year like it had last year.
Yeah. It's just not as impressive of a slate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Doomsday could do $2 billion. At this point, Spider-Man might do $2 billion. So yeah, I think Disney being out ahead is probably gonna stay that way. It just goes to show you again, it's not like they own everything, but they own all like the most bankable franchises. I mean, it's not even just Lucasfilm, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, or Marvel. I mean, Pixar has been there for way longer than Marvel and Star Wars, but then also Disney's original animation tends to do really well. Like in today's world, like even more than superheroes, the most reliable genre is family animation. Like if you're making a movie that's gonna bring in all 4 quadrants, generally speaking, you know, whether it's kids with parents or even teenagers, like, and you know, between Disney Animation and Pixar, they make movies that appeal to people of all ages. They're not just for like little kids. Like Illumination tends to make movies that maybe are more kid friendly than they are for adults. Not everything, but I'm just saying in general. But like, you know, you have Super Mario Galaxy that did. Yeah, I think Disney's gonna. It gives them like really safe bets. And then even though Disney doesn't release as many movies as they promised when they bought Fox, when the ones that do put out all tend to make big money. Disney doesn't really have
because
like
they
a lot
bought
of
all the
prestige
biggest
movies
franchises
either,
to do
you know?
all the work for them. So,
Yeah,
you know,
because like what was it, Searchlight Pictures, like they don't really have much on the calendar this year, so like that's their prestige one, like that's their focus features, that's their A24, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, family movies make bank, and then horror movies are good return on investment. But I mean, Universal, I think, and Warner Brothers tend to do way more horror than Disney does. Disney really doesn't do horror. Like the
Send
closest
Help
thing
is like the closest, but that was under
Yeah.
20th Century Studios. So
I was gonna say a Haunted Mansion, but like, you know, that's a family horror. That's years ago.
we don't talk about that. Woof.
Yeah, we'll talk about Eddie Murphy though later in the show.
Yeah,
But
but
anyway.
you know what? Let's talk about. I keep forgetting. Yeah, that was Box Office Report, by the way. I
That
keep
was what-
fucking forgetting to put it because I keep forgetting that this is a fucking lower third. But MCU, you know, speaking of Disney, you know, we got X-Men 97. Apparently, the season 2 hasn't come out yet. That's coming out in July, right?
I think
it's
so.
July.
Yeah.
Season 3 release wait time will be shorter than first 2 seasons. They've learned their lesson. So it's like, hey, wow, yearly TV series. That's crazy, bro. Remember when TV shows used to do that? They used to come out like per year.
That was
not,
the
like,
standard. I mean,
once, like, and
I
it
still
was
remember.
like 40 episodes. Like that was great.
yeah.
That was good times. I remember yearly TV shows with 20 fucking episodes per season. Now it's like we're lucky to
More
get
than
8
that.
episodes every
I remember-
5 fucking years.
Dude, they used to have like 22, 24. Like I remember watching Stargate. There's some seasons of SG1 that have 24 episodes because they would do like 2-parter finales or a 2-parter mid-season finale or a 2-parter
Yeah.
mid-season premiere. So I mean,
but now it's just like
Hey,
I
Enterprise.
understand like streaming changed things because the thing is, like, it was essentially like they needed to get that money back, and that was through
Yeah.
commercials and sponsorships and all that shit.
I really
So
had the
that-
Mr. Fantastic look going on, by the way. So I
I've
just
said that
realized.
before.
It was, like, it's really
But that was
coming
essentially
in.
what it was. So now there's no need to put out 20 episodes because it's just like it's just people buying your
Yeah.
streaming service. They're gonna buy it for a month, whether they like it or not. So but it's also weird
exactly,
'cause it's
Moni.
like
Exactly.
if there's the idea of like, oh, cool, we're gonna we're gonna get money from the people rather than from the
Mhm.
sponsorships or rather from the commercials. Okay, wouldn't you want like more people to pay for your streaming service, like maybe they buy it for one specific show. Cool. They're going to buy it for a month. And then if it's 8 episodes, maybe 2 months, if it's weekly, but if it's a binge thing, they get it for 1 month and then they quit. Wouldn't you want people to stay to your streaming service? Give them 13 episodes weekly. That will be a good return on investment. I don't know why that's like so weird to me. Anyway,
nowadays it's only
because the thing is
CSI and stuff.
Because the thing is, they would let the fucking audience grow with the show. That's not what it is anymore. If Star Trek Next Generation was made today, that shit would have been canceled. Would have canceled.
I distinctly remember
season one.
Season one was not
sucks.
Good. I still, dude. Not only that, but do you remember? Like they actually gave him like comfortable clothes to wear after the first season, because I was like, this looks way better.
It was season 2 or 3.
Was it season 2 or 3? It was
because in season 1 and 2 they had the onesies where it was like all one thing.
I'm like, that can't be fucking comfortable. Like,
it was not comfortable, and it was like hard to pee because it was one fucking thing. Then in season 3, that when many Star Trek fans said that like that's when the show started to get really fucking good consistently. That's when they got like the non-onesie thing where it was like the 2-piece more. But it's like
you're right, a lot of absolutely, and a lot of shows take a few years, a few couple of seasons to really find their footing, you know.
I hate to say it, the show got better once Gene Roddenberry died. Like it was like he was like holding on to the vestiges of like what Star Trek he wanted it to be, which was like not bad. It's just like there were other writers that also understood a way to do Star Trek. It's just like Gene Roddenberry just couldn't get out of his own head, and once he passed away, it got better. Like I know a lot of people nowadays who hate New Trek are like, oh my god, Gene Roddenberry, he was the king. He was good. He obviously he started everything. He gave us a lot of great stuff with that original series, those movies, all that stuff. But like he got in his own head. He made himself crazy because he lost control with the movies. So he's like he wanted control back with the show, and it just kind of didn't work. And then poof, and it's just like, all right, Gene Roddenberry was a good guy for the most part. Like he did great things with Trek and other shows that not many people remember except for super niche sci-fi nerds. But it's just like, don't act like he was like fucking space Jesus. Calm down.
But okay, Enterprising was saying, howdy folks, feeling better today, just compartmentalizing the whole reviews disappointment with Supergirl. Well, we're glad you're feeling better, and we're glad you're going to see the movie tomorrow. We're still not getting into spoilers tonight, so don't worry.
Yeah, I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to do spoiler stuff on as we keep saying.
Yeah.
But if you want to know spoiler review,
about
you can do it.
Yeah, it's fine. So Figure Drawing was saying the Next Generation was horrid early on. That said, I eventually found it endearing. It's like a different show. It is. I did a rewatch like last year.
It's
like season 3 you start to get
it was
really
essentially 1960s writers trying to write a Star Trek show in the 90s, and it didn't work. So, well, technically in the 80s because that's when it started, but anyway. So
we'll get into the DC animation stuff later. Don't you worry, we're getting to it.
You know, it's going to be more of a yearly thing rather than the gap with the first 2 seasons. So that's.
Well, I think Brad Winderbaum has talked about it a lot, that they're trying to do that like cadence now with a lot of their TV shows. They want to get back to that because remember the thing about Marvel shows on Disney Plus was when they first started, they didn't have Marvel Television as a thing. Like it wasn't like a studio within Marvel. It was basically the same people that work on the movies. They brought them in. A lot of the people that were working on those shows early on, they were not really TV people. They didn't really know how to make episodic television. So they were basically writing them almost like movies, which is why it felt like, you know, why don't they just take these 6 episodes of like Obi-Wan Kenobi and turn them into a movie? Because it was basically they didn't have like showrunners.
Well, Obi-Wan started out as a movie. It was supposed to be a trilogy of movies.
But it wasn't even. But that's not the only example.
And then they broke the first script down and made it a show and added a bunch of shit that didn't make sense. So.
But like that being like one example of several. I mean, WandaVision is an example of something where they got the right concept and it worked well as a TV show. But now with Brad Winderbaum leading the way, who's I think he's also taken over the comic side we talked about not too long ago. So he's made it a priority that, like Daredevil, Born Again, X-Men 97, they're working now, because remember when TV shows used to do this 22 episodes, 24 episodes a season, 12 season runs and whatnot, what would happen is that you would be constantly in production. You would have maybe a bit of a break, but once you finish one season, you may have like a slight break and then you're working on the next. And this, so if you were a full-time cast member or a production crew member, a direct episodic director, you would basically be employed full-time on the show as long as the show was on. Nowadays, when you have like a show like a House of the Dragon, which I feel like there's room for both of those styles of production to exist, and with the shows like The Pit, we're going back to that, where you are going to have shows that will be coming out every year, and then you will still have shows that might take 3 years to come out because they're spending much more money on it, and there's a lot more VFX work that needs to happen, almost movie level VFX. And yeah, exactly, Monique. It was a month or two, you get a break, and then you go back to it and to the next season. So with Marvel, they're doing that now because they're like, this is what's going to allow us to give the audiences not only a consistent output of content and stories, but also, it's going to allow them to put out consistently good TV shows, because it's like it's like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like TV, or we figured out TV decades ago. So Marvel rediscovering that, I'm glad they are. And then as part of that now, X-Men 97, we're going to be getting, yearly seasons, which is perfect for fans, because even shows like Batman Beyond or Batman the animated series, which had, a nickel and a dime for a budget, they managed to push like a season out pretty much every year. So why can't they do that with a show like this, which has way more resources? And even, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that's another one that they're going to be doing yearly releases. I know you're going to be watching that one, John. So it's good that we're getting into that, because this is what Disney Plus should have done from the get-go, but took them a while to figure out how to do TV, even though ABC's right there. Ask the people that work at ABC. They've been doing this for decades, but whatever. Anyway. But yeah, I'm excited. X-Men 97. I mean, it's going strong. Yeah. So
also exciting, more Spider-Man Brand New Day stuff. And apparently one of the surprise villains has been revealed. Apparently, according to Daniel Rickman, Shocker, that Shocker is in Spider-Man Brand New Day. People have pointed out that Spidey is using Shocker's gloves to fight the Hulk. Okay,
that's fine. I mean, so we got Shocker in the show, or in the movie. The actor who played Herman Schultz, who was playing a supporting part in Homecoming.
It was Logan Marshall Green, and then fucking Vulture killed him, and then Bokeem Woodbine became the new Shocker. So
yeah, well, but he did tease that maybe we haven't seen the last of the Shocker. So here you go. It's still probably not the villain. Like, I don't think that's the secret villain Tom Holland was talking about, but I mean, I'm sure Shocker will have another support. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it seem like Spider-Man has a lot to do, because like, why else? Because New York has so many heroes in the MCU anyway. Like, you got a freaking Avengers team hanging out in the event. Like, who needs Spider-Man when you have a whole Avengers team hanging out in that tower? Even though these Avengers are really just, I mean, they're mostly super soldiers, and one person doesn't even have powers. So like, whatever. They're not really like the old Avengers, the new Avengers. But anyway, I like that they're building out the rogues gallery for Spider-Man, because a lot of these guys can come back with bigger roles down the road. So yeah, sure. Let's see what happens with that. But hello to Johnny Dome. A harsh critic watched Supergirl matinee. LOL, wallets closed, didn't work, I guess. Obviously he hated it. I don't know. Oh, is that a person, harsh critic? I don't care about this dude. Whatever, good for him, or not good for him. I hope they give him a suit. I mean, if Ramrod and all the other guys, Boomerang, are an indication, then if Shocker's in the movie, then he probably has one of his like suits as well. I think we all expect Tombstone to be the villain. It's not like we asked Liz yesterday, and she was like, "Isn't it Scorpion?" And Liz is a perfect example of like somebody who's not following this stuff super closely, so she probably doesn't remember that. Deadline broke the story that Marvin Jones III got brought into the movie, likely playing Tombstone. So I think they've done a good job of not giving it away. But there you go. Yeah, he is wearing those gloves, at least on his right hand. That makes sense. Okay. All right, well that's cool. Shocker. Add him to the list of like what 6 other supporting villains in this movie. It's gonna be
Yeah, and
it's
they
gonna be
called
fun.
Superman over stuff. Hello.
Come on, we've talked
But
about this. Let's
speaking of
not. Yeah,
stuffing, I don't know.
stuffing.
A
Okay,
good
bad.
segue.
That's
I
a
don't know.
that's a
Well, Tom
bad
Holland's
segue.
probably stuffing Zendaya after this premiere, but but apparently she is wearing
You're on that one.
I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to go for there. But apparently Zendaya is wearing a vintage Armani dress embroidered with dramatic spiderweb motifs. Very nice. Very beautiful woman. I don't know what else to say. I don't know why this is fucking news, but there she is. Very nice. Tom Holland's a lucky man. Anyway, there goes that. The MCU Weekly, everybody. But yeah, cool. Now movie talk madness. Now we move on to cinema. There we go. Now this is where we're fuck dresses. I don't give a fuck about that. Ray Gunn. Hell yeah. Apparently Netflix has unveiled a first look and announces release date for Brad Bird's retro futurist animated adventure. As part of their presentation at the Annecy International Animation Film Festival this week, Netflix unveiled a brand new look at Brad Bird's Ray Gun, an animated neo-noir science fiction mystery film that is expected to be a major player come Oscar season. The streamer also announced that the long-awaited title will debut on its platform on December 18th. While plot details for the retrofuturist animated adventure are mostly under wraps, the film is set in the gigantic city of Metropia in an alternate future as seen from 1939. Private Eye Raymond Gunn is drawn into a case involving aliens, murder, and a multimedia star named Venus Nova. So the film may be slightly more adult skewing than his previous works, but it'll still have his trademark charm. People don't call futuristic weapons ray guns anymore. That's an older term, so that automatically made me think of, if you're going to do a future detective movie, wouldn't it be cool if it kind of looked like what we associate with classic detective movies? So that's from the 30s and 40s. This movie takes place in the future as seen from 1939, so it's Buck Rogers meets the Maltese Falcon. He also confirmed that the film is fully animated. I think the thing that I'm really unusually happy about is that we took on something really tough to do, animation, but it's still animation. Some people will say, well, that scene is subtle, so you must have done mocap or something like that. And I will probably go, no, it was animation, and animators acted out the scenes. It doesn't look live action. It feels like live action, but it doesn't look like it. It's a little bit like dance. The medium of animation is amazing. So Sam Rockwell, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Waits, John Ratzenberger, Jamie Costa, all these people are going to be in the film. Brad Bird is directing, while Matthew Robbins, who is a frequent collaborator of Guillermo del Toro, is co-writing it. Bird is also attached as a producer alongside Lisa Baroud and the Skydance animation of John Lasseter, David Ellison, and Dana Goldberg, as well as Michael Giacchino doing the score, which, I feel like Brad Bird to Michael Giacchino is Spielberg to John Williams at this point. So yeah, it looks fucking fantastic. I can't wait for this. I would have preferred to have it in traditional 2D animation, because that's what was originally envisioned for Ray Gunn, because he envisioned this back in like the 90s, maybe even the 80s. So that would have been awesome to see, but still looks fantastic, still looks amazing, and I'm sure Brad Bird is going to give us another phenomenal film. So, yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
no, I mean, John, this looks really, really good. Like I love
Sam
the animation
Rockwell,
style.
Just like stop, I can only get so erect. Like, goddamn, bro. Scarlett
Also,
Johansson, nah. Sam Rockwell gets me erect.
This is Brad Bird's first movie in 8 years, and I mean, look, the character modeling, the animation style, the Art Deco look, I like that they're mixing in the new texturing, renderer things, ideas that Spider-Verse has introduced into the animation world, but also still keeping to more of that traditional Pixar look, even though this is not a Pixar movie. But yeah, Skydance animation, man, like this is gonna be big on Netflix. I can already see this could become one of their biggest hits. And Enterprising, you are not wrong. These are some attractive looking people on your screen right now.
I mean, literally, he inspired an entire generation of gooners just from Mrs. Incredible's ass. Like,
You
the
ain't
man
wrong.
can do no wrong. Like,
There's some good
come
cake
on.
in
Even
that
Tomorrowland
movie.
wasn't that bad. It kind of shit the
No.
bed with the ending. I blame Damon
It was
Lindelof for it.
unfortunate, it was unfortunate, I would say, more than anything. But this looks great. I can't wait. Dude, like I saw these photos and I'm like, you know what? I'm in. Take my money now. This looks amazing. But yeah, let's keep going, because look, Annecy had a couple of big announcements today. We'll get to the DC stuff later in the show. But yeah, I mean, Pixar-esque version of Blade Runner minus the replicants. Give me that right now, Brad Bird. I'll have it. But
I would
in
bend
addition,
my ass over for Brad Bird.
cool. We should put that on a t-shirt. But in addition to Ray Gunn, Keanu Reeves also had a project that got showcased today. The stop motion samurai animation.
Hell yeah.
Wow. What does that say? Hidari? Ooh.
Hidari, imagine John Wick set in feudal Japan and performed by wooden puppets on steroids. Take my money now.
Yes. Like Gomez just said, yes. Simply yes. Let's go. This almost sounds like the same animation style as the studio behind Dynamic Duo, doesn't it? I think the only thing we have really is that image.
But,
what did Keanu have to say? I think, is this Keanu talking about it? This is the
Masashi
director of the movie.
Kawamura said essentially what the headline is. The story is inspired by the works of Japanese artist and legendary carpenter Hidari Jingoro, who allegedly lived in the 17th century. Nobody knows if he really existed or not. He's surrounded by a lot of mystery, which I felt was a very interesting character to use as the center of my story. People even said that he could breathe life into wood. He added, when I heard that, I thought that's exactly what we do in stop motion. We move inanimate objects and try to create life. Kawamura decided to use wooden sculptures exactly like the ones Hidari Jingoro actually crafted himself. The material and the technique become part of the story itself. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. Kawamura, who presented the project also during the Annecy showcase, spoke during the panel, which also spotlighted A New Dawn by... I am not even going to try to pronounce any of these names. I apologize to all of them. But A New Dawn and On the Killing Road.
Okay.
And yeah, so essentially, in his story of revenge, a young master carpenter is working on the reconstruction of the Edo castle, but then he gets involved in a ruthless conspiracy and loses his mentor fiance and also his right arm. He survives and reinvents himself and transforms all his carpentry skills and tools into weapons. He carves himself a lethal prosthetic arm and confronts an army of mechanical soldiers and eventually a robot who starts to destroy the city of Edo. We're going to do all this in stop motion, guys. It's going to be crazy, noting they will weave together actual history with fantasy elements to craft an entertaining story for all ages. Under all that spectacle, it's really about this one man trying to rediscover himself after turning to destruction. God, just fucking give me this movie now. Like, if fuck, man, Jesus fucking Christ. If anybody could, like, shit on Brad Bird, it's this guy. Like, holy shit. God damn, bro. We're in, like,
it goes hard.
Golden age of animation right now. Like, holy fuck.
You know what this is? This sounds like it's based on a legend, right? Hello, Movie Spud. Welcome on in. It sounds like a movie that I've seen before. This is a Bollywood movie. You guys probably never heard of it. It was called Chandni Chowk to China. It takes place in China and is based on a similar legend. And it was actually back in an era when like Hollywood studios were making legit Bollywood movies. Like this was made by Warner Brothers India, like which was a thing. And Disney used to have a studio in India too. Now it's like not the case anymore. They tried it for a few years. But I really like the concept of like this guy gets defeated, works on things, transforms himself, and then like goes back in and he's like, I'm gonna rip you guys a new one. And it sounds amazing. I mean, Keanu Reeves is like, everybody keeps asking me if I'm back. I'm thinking I'm back. It's like, yeah, I think, yeah. Except I don't know if he's doing this in a Japanese. I'm sure he's speaking English, I don't know if does Keanu know Japanese? Like I don't know if this is gonna
I
be in
mean, I know
Japanese
he's half
or
Japanese or like a quarter
right, but I don't know if
Japanese.
he speaks Japanese. So that was I was wondering.
I'm
Anyway,
actually
but this sounds exciting. This sounds wonderful. Like between this, which clearly stole the show for the day, but I mean, obviously we'll get into DC stuff later, and what we just saw with Ray Gunn. Holy
apparently
cow!
Keanu Reeves not fully bilingual, as you know, he's speaks English. However, he possesses strong proficiency in French, but not Japanese. He recorded lines in Japanese for the film 47 Ronin with the help of a coach, though this was not for full fluency. So he did some lines for a movie, but that's about it. So this is probably going to be in English, if I were to take a guess.
Okay. All right. Well, hey. Well, I'm good for it either way. I don't. This sounds really exciting. I wish we got more footage or something, but I'm guessing we're gonna get that in probably the not too distant future. So, yeah, hell yeah, give it to me now. Between this and all the DC stuff and the ray gun, like yeah, Annecy is good this year. Annecy is really, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, let's keep going because beyond Annecy, we got to talk about this is something weird that I came across today, John, and I feel like is relevant. We should talk about it because I think it has implications in other parts of storytelling, movies, TV shows, and otherwise. Continuing with the animation theme, there was this big controversy that's been happening these past couple of days because the Peppa Pig franchise, which is big in Australia but also airs I think on Nick Jr. in the U.S. Apparently, Hasbro bought the franchise a while ago, and apparently, so in this animated series of shows, they do have kids voicing some of the characters. Now, Hasbro apparently has recently been asking all these talent agents for these kids, underage kids, child actors, to basically sign over their voices for them to recreate for AI down the road, so they can repurpose different parts of like the Peppa Pig thing for commercials and for merchandising and stuff, or like so instead of having the actors come back in and voice that stuff, they just want to be able to generate that stuff using AI. And they've basically, according to this article, which was in Deadline broke this, and then Variety later on added to that. We'll get to that later. I'm going to read this off from the article directly. So Deadline was saying, according to industry sources, AI clauses are now frequently appearing in kids' contracts in TV and film projects, but Hasbro's embrace of the terms on Peppa Pig has become a lightning rod for concern. So, I mean, Hasbro's owned Peppa Pig since 2019. They're asking their child actors on the animated series to sign over their voices to artificial intelligence under new contract terms. And that led to, as you see in the Variety article, John, they were talking about how almost 1,000 people have signed an open letter, which the Deadline article did list out in full. We don't need to go through the whole thing, but basically the open letter, which was organized by the Agents of Young Performers Association, AYPA, so that's the union behind it. This letter, which has a shit ton of people signing off on it, open letter condemned the AI terms on what they called international, on an international children's franchise, which Peppa Pig is a bigger deal than some of us might realize because it's not for us necessarily, but there's a big audience for it, especially when you talk about anything that's kids entertainment, especially kids working on set or even in recording studios. I feel like you have to have there's an extra sense of responsibility, and anything you do has to be done transparently. Now, that's what Hasbro said they're trying to do, but basically, according to the reporting in Deadline, as part of the open letter, essentially these clauses were presented to these child actors as a take it or leave it. So if you don't sign the contract with the clauses included, you're not going to get the job, which like they're saying in this open letter that consent must be treated with care, especially with any child actor who's underage, and oftentimes they're not the ones signing stuff, it's their guardians, and then you have their talent
categorized
agents.
as fucking child abuse, bro.
Literally, also in the letter they say, when the performer is a child, consent must be treated with the greatest of care. Children cannot provide fully informed legal consent, and a parent or guardian's approval should never be used as a blanket license to capture, clone, train, or reuse a child's voice indefinitely. And I feel like that's the key here, because there's gonna be parents out there who will sign their kids up to this stuff. But the problem with that is one day some of those kids will be adult actors, and then all of a sudden they'll be dealing with the aftermath of some AI technology company that's got their voice imprint and have this signature from when they were underage to be able to use their voices without having to pay them residuals or anything like that. And then, like imagine Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he was a child actor, Drew Barrymore. If they were having to sign these things, then all of a sudden their options to earn money and opportunities when they're adult actors, especially if you have the level of success that these, Joseph Gordon-Levitt or, like I said, Drew Barrymore, even like the new, like, what am I thinking? The Stranger Things kids, Millie Bobby Brown, and like those, just think of them. Or who was the kid that played Shazam in the Shazam movies? Like Asher Angel, like they were under 18, right? So if they had to do this, like it just completely puts them in a very compromised position down the road. And it's that thing of parents will sometimes sign off on this stuff, but like still it has consequences for the kid down the road if they want to have a career in the business once they're adults. So I think this is just completely fucking messed up. Like, especially like, don't do it as a take it or leave it. Like, this has to be a thing where essentially what Hasbro is saying, if you're going to work with us, you have to give us this consent. And I think that's the complete wrong way to go about this. It's just totally messed up. I hope more people sign 100%. On to this. And because this could be a really, really dangerous precedent if people keep continuing to go along with it. But yeah, this is totally messed up. I don't know. You guys let us know what you think about this. Hopefully Hasbro will, take a step back and reevaluate, because yeah, this is not right. It's not right at all. So, but hey, you know what else is not right, John?
Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar today. Games being cunts. Yeah. Although it is funny, I was just going through my right before the show, I was just going through my feed, and it was captioned with so when is Grand Theft Auto coming out? Hang on a sec. It's coming out in November 12th, and it's like, and I saw it was a clip from Wolf of Wall Street with the caption, when it hits midnight on November 12th, and it was Jonah Hill screaming, $22 billion in 3 years. And I'm like, you're not wrong. Because even though it's digital, the fucking physical doesn't even technically fucking exist. All this shit don't matter. People are gonna bend their asses to this garbage because they've been waiting too damn long for it. So, yeah. And also another thing, because we talked about like the price tag yesterday, but so, and how the physical version is just a download code, it doesn't have a disc. And there was another game. The Insomniac shit on that by saying, well, Wolverine is going to come with a disc, guys. So props to you. I don't love everything you do, Insomniac, but props to you for that one. But also how if you don't have the Ultimate Edition, which by the way is $100, it's a lot of the stores in the game are going to be only available in the Ultimate Edition. So if you get the Standard Edition, like, like beauty salons, clothing stores, stuff like that was just in the game normally is going to be behind a paywall. And on top of the fact, I also saw, this is going to be iffy, I don't know if this was 100% confirmed or not, but there was also, I don't know if it's just in the Ultimate Edition or both editions or just the Standard Edition, how they're going to essentially implement GTA Plus for free for the first month, and then like implement that into the game, and then essentially use your card to keep paying for it if you don't know about it, and they're not telling you about it. So that's also fun. So essentially, even though this is probably one of the scummiest releases in modern history, Rockstar knows that it has the entire like gaming industry by the fucking balls at this point. They can literally do anything. They could write in the terms and in conditions, give us your firstborn child, and people will fucking do it because they've been waiting for this game for over a fucking decade. And it's honestly pathetic as fuck, but Rockstar knows it's like, you're gonna give us your fucking money anyway. So eat a dick, give us the fucking cash. And people, oh, John, why don't you want to pay GTA 6? You fuck that. I'll just go back to GTA 5. I'll just go back to GTA Online. Fuck that. I'm not playing this shit. Because how fucking... and then they got the age verification, which they confirmed. It's just entirely scummy as hell. So fucking scummy, and it's just it sucks. It sucks, but like, you know what? That's how it is. And the dumbasses and suckers are gonna fucking perpetuate this shit because they really want to blow a hooker's brains out after fucking her in the ass over the hood of your car after doing a fucking snort of cocaine in a game rather than, you know, fucking play anything else. So here we are.
I feel like this is the time to use a rant alert intro.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Run for your lives! Everyone run for cover!
Anyway, look, this article makes a lot of good points because here's the thing. They kind of threw people for a bit of a loop because if you scroll down in this article, there's a couple, I like what they say here at the beginning. They say if Netflix killed physical media, Rockstar Games just ran over its carcass. Now, you just talked about the physical copy version is really just a code in a plastic case. The really insidious reason why they're doing that is because, you know, the Sony got sued because on antitrust concerns about their PlayStation Store. And there was a class action lawsuit. They actually just settled for like $4 billion something dollars. And it's similar to Apple's, you know, iTunes and Spotify. Or like, the Apple App Store, iTunes is another thing, and Spotify, but like Apple's App Store and the Android Google App Store, where essentially if your thing is only available on there, you can argue that that's a monopoly because they're able to, you know, because obviously they're always going to get a cut out of it and everything too. The reason why they're doing it is so that they can get away from like that, you know, adding any fuel to that fire. Because if you have a way to get it outside of just directly downloading it off the, you know, the store, then there's more than one way to get it. Therefore, is it really a monopoly? So it's like, that's one technicality, very insidious technicality. And then the other thing in this article that they point out, apparently the Rockstar threw us off the mark on Thursday, where there was an email that was, you know, sent out, which accidentally provided some false hope for a GTA 6 disc version, because it was a response to a ticket filed to Rockstar support, as the Hollywood Reporter says here, asking for a disc-based version of Grand Theft Auto 6, and the email stated, you will be able to acquire a physical copy during the following month. Now, the Hollywood Reporter did authenticate that this is a real email, that they got a response from Rockstar support on this, but the physical copy terminology is very misleading because it, like we just said, it's not a disc. So if you scroll down a little bit here on this GTA 6 account, like on X, their tweet is also very misleading because they say that, you know, oh, they're gonna, you know, send out disc copies available in the months following the launch and stuff, but they're not. So like that artwork with like a disc hanging out for the PS5 case, that's not what it is going to be. It's still gonna be it's still literally gonna be just a code in a box, which is, I just think is like ridiculous. Like it's vehicular manslaughter, death sentence to the physical media industry, like Enterprising was saying, because it's gonna create a precedent when it's that idea. Like I think when like for example, Netflix put Blockbuster out of business, and then they got out of the same physical media business. They were like, we're just going to stream. We're not going to send you DVDs in the mail. And that was the end of that. Universal and Warner Brothers got out of the physical media game. Disney exited the physical media game. And, you know, Disney now has Sony do their like physical media stuff. They don't do it themselves. Slowly, studios have done that. I remember a few years ago, Best Buy said we're not going to be selling Blu-ray discs and DVDs in stores as much anymore, right? So if you want to get it, you have to order it online. This is just completely messed up. Hi, Kyle. We're so glad you saw Supergirl, and we love that you loved it. We're gonna get into that later, but just to kind of, John, this whole situation is all kinds of messed up because when like the leading game, the biggest game of the past 10 years makes this
the
change,
biggest game of the fucking century.
they just gave every other game studio the excuse to do the literal same thing, and that creates just the worst kind of precedent, for physical media. Because like you said, John, like you don't really own it anymore. Like it's a software on a PlayStation that could technically be wiped or become unusable. Like it just creates such a bad precedent. It's just, yeah, like an FN box for a barcode makes no sense to me. It's just a technicality at that point. Like why bother? Like it just, people don't want to buy trash to take up more room. It maybe is for collectors, maybe, but it's still not. I'm glad that some vinyl record stuff is back. People are starting to listen to cassettes again and all that. And I still collect movies for like some of the movies that I really want to have on physical media, because streaming still doesn't give you the best quality version of a movie that you can possibly have in your home. The Blu-ray quality is still higher because the bit rate, the channels of audio and everything is better on a disc. They still can't stream that to you at the same quality to, when you really get into it, as you can get off of a disc. So especially a Blu-ray disc, 4K Blu-ray. So I don't know. I feel really icky about this. This is like you said, you already said your piece, John, but like this is messed up. All kinds of messed up. Like as the industry leader, the least you could do is like, because like I said, like this is gonna change things for every other video game now. Like they don't have to do anything about this. Like it just could be like, oh well, if GTA is doing it, then why can't we do it? Like this is the new normal. Like so, yeah. It just, if this was a smaller game doing it, it wouldn't be as big of a problem. Even though on its own it's still an issue, but whatever. But anyway, we should save some energy for the next rant, John, because speaking of AI.
Speaking of bullshit decisions, A24 being fucking morons.
Are A24 still cool? Because they just did that, like the Google, was it Google? I think invested like was $75 million to like have them develop AI tools. Yeah, because I mean A24 was like the cool hip studio that all the younger generation folks were into, maybe still are, but yeah, when Google's DeepMind partners with you, which they did on Monday, and invests like $75 million for you to develop, AI filmmaking tools. Not to mention, Google already has, what is it called? Like VO? What is it called? Like they have their own video, like AI video generation service.
Mm-hmm.
So like Google already has some stuff. So like now, like I don't know what A24 is gonna do for them, because it's just like it's already creating a backlash. Like they talk about in this article, just a day after they announced this deal on Monday with Google, A24's latest movie, which has nothing to do with AI, but it has Jesse Eisenberg in it. It's about a community theater where Jesse Eisenberg's character is involved with this community theater in the movie. All the comments on that trailer were a pile-on about the AI stuff. Like, why do I pay and support a company that doesn't support or believe in the power of human creativity? A24 was so cool until you chuds sold out to AI monoliths for some monopoly bucks, which was actually, these are the nicer comments. I mean, John, do you feel any lesser, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it did dampen it. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Affection for A24?
I will probably, I don't know if I'm willing to support them like I did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I'm interested in a movie, maybe I'll go see it before this deal really goes through, or before they really start implementing this stuff. Because, yeah, even Kane Parsons, who literally fucking not even a month before was like, yeah, if I could like snap my fingers and get rid of generative AI forever, I would. He's like, yeah, just, he literally said, don't, he's like, I'm just going to say this, Backrooms does not have any AI implementation. I don't support this at all. Any Backrooms content will not have this if we are to have a future together. And he said, don't trust these fucking corporations and all. He was getting pissed. He was fucking pissed because he literally just said, I don't support it at all. And then you fucking, the people that just fucking distributed and funded and produced his movie is like turned around and did that. So he's like, can't trust these fucking people.
Yeah. I really think like what's ultimately going to happen is this younger generation, which I'm so glad, like, I I don't know, like, I don't know if we
Do
are part
not
of this
take
generation.
fucking shit from
Just
anybody.
yeah, because it's just, the more I think about it, I'm like, the whole AI economy idea just is a very
It's gonna
roundabout way.
pop.
Like, there's just,
It's gonna pop
it
eventually.
doesn't have a solid foundation.
It doesn't.
Anyway, so and this negative attitude towards it, I think, is going to be a bigger killer for AI's adoption, and also, just overall its utility than anything else, really, like, any other laws or whatever, because, like, I don't think the governments are going to be able to catch up to it anytime soon. They're still trying to catch up with the internet to this day. They're like 20 years behind where it should be, at least. But anyway, so A24, are they still cool? You guys let us know. I don't know. I feel like A24 has been trying to go towards being more commercial, grow, and like bring in more IP level content and stuff, and still, like, the AI has a big stink on it. We just talked about it like 2 days ago, how, if your movie has any AI tools used to, do VFX or stuff, Hollywood studios don't advertise it. They don't even list the studio vendor who did the work in their credits, because they don't want any bad PR. That should tell you enough about, like, where people's perception of AI is, and what they'd like or do not like to see associated with their movies that they go out to enjoy, especially when the filmmaker's not on board. So I don't know. We'll see what A24 does down the road. But hey, you know what? Let's talk about a movie that definitely did not have any AI used in it. And President Christopher Nolan, the last bastion of analog filmmaking, he's doing, I think, another goated move here. He made this move for The Odyssey. Is going to skip social media influencer screenings. Universal is going to go straight to professional critic screenings, rather than having the usual word of mouth screenings for social media, which we've talked, I mean, with Supergirl, we've talked about it. With Superman, we talked about it. There's a lot of movies do this now, where it's not just your traditional press that gets to see the movie early. A lot of social media influencers get to see it. They do these big fan events. And so, you get all this free media attention, because they're going to, like, make reels. They're going to take photos. They're going to talk to their followers about it. They'll get these, like, boxes of, like, freebies of merchandise and stuff. I've seen it all over social media. It's a good, cheap way, relative to, like, buying ad space, to get awareness up, especially with younger audiences. But so on that level, I don't know if Christopher Nolan feels like, well, we already got everybody, like, these tickets are crashing websites. We have sold out IMAX a year ago. So, like, maybe they're just like, we don't need it. But also, you gotta wonder, like, whether that's gonna affect the younger audience attaching
with
to
Nolan.
this,
Like, this isn't, like, I don't picture this as a movie that, like, all right, guys, I got my popcorn bucket and drink cup. Let's go to see The Odyssey. Like, that doesn't make sense.
That book,
like,
you fell asleep
Supergirl, Toy Story
in
5, like Spider-Man Brand New Day, like, all these big IPs, that kind of shit, that works.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
Brian.
can't really see, like, Universal having these, like, influencers come in and, like, gas up the movie through
I
their
agree with you, by the
TikToks.
way.
Like, it just
Yeah.
doesn't
And
make
it's already
sense to me.
happening.
And it's so funny, because
Like,
I saw
yeah.
people, like, commenting on this. They were like, "Oh yeah, this is a death knell for the movie. This means it's gonna be bad." It's just like, no, they don't want, like, a bunch of dumb fucking 20-year-olds talking about, like, something that doesn't appeal to them at all. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying that it's gonna, like, the professional critics know what they're fucking talking about, because look at the dumbass who did that Variety article on the fucking
Yeah.
Supergirl movie, where, like, half of his complaints were like, "Oh no, I can't jerk off to Millie Alcock because she's not hot enough for me," which was literally in his review. Like, he said, like, "Oh, this fucking troglodyte is our Supergirl now," and it's like, what you are
What
a
the fuck is wrong with
67-year-old
people?
man. Why are you fucking, like, gooning to, like, fucking this shit? Like, really? And you're putting that in your professional review? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Anyway, this is also the guy that thought Minecraft movie was better than Project Hail Mary. So frankly, fuck that guy. But, it's just like, I can't imagine, like, that they would do something like social media influencer, like, vibe for, Sir President Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. It just, it's just fucking weird. It's just weird to me, It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, no, I mean, remember there was that big stunt that Disney did with influencers about the Mando movie, and that blew
Yeah.
up in their face. It's just people
Yeah.
are gotten a lot savvier about, like, you can tell when an influencer is getting paid to essentially, or getting free stuff to promote a movie. It's easy to, it's hard to hide, and people are getting smarter about that. So studios are starting to kind of, like, figure that out as well, that this could really blow up in your face. And even though like most movies that kind of do it on a case by case basis, I think this is the perfect thing for the Odyssey. Like, this is a show of strength. They're putting their foot down. They're saying we don't need that bullshit, because essentially how this usually works is, before the studio gets to do a big press screening with like your professional critics and everything, they'll do this like advanced screening with fan site bloggers and stuff and other influencers. I mean, I guess we would be in the same category potentially, right? Because we're not like a big trade like the Hollywood Reporter or something like that. And you get invited to this early advanced screening, and then they'll let you post just a social media reaction. Just that. There's a limit on how much you can say, and what you can talk about, what you cannot talk about. They tell you what you can say, what you cannot say. And because they invited you to that screening, they know that if you post something that's more like, they'll know that you didn't follow the rules. So and then you won't get invited again. So we saw that for like, that's what the social media embargo usually is. And then you do the critic screening, where you bring the press in, whether it's on the studio lot or because most of the press, the big sites, most of those full-time professional critics live in LA, so they'll just go to the studio backlot for the screening. And instead of doing those influencer screenings, what they're going to do for the Odyssey is they're going to have the film's global premiere screening in London on July 6th. And that's basically the first time anybody's going to see the movie. And after that, the film is going to start screening for film critics. So July 6th is the premiere in London. After that, critics will get to see it, but there won't be any social media like influencer like special advanced screening, so you can get social media reactions. Because like I said, I mean, A, they don't need it. B, I think this is like the whole idea of Christopher Nolan's got the influence and he's wielding that power, and I think Universal understood the assignment. So yeah, I'm completely okay with this. I'm completely okay with this. Those a-holes don't deserve the last laugh. Safe bet influencers still have hot takes on this movie one way or another. Well, I'm sure they will. They just won't get to do it like a week before everybody else gets to see the movie. Hunter Iggy, hello. Sean O'Rourke, DC Studio cast Meg Donnelly as Supergirl because Emilia Clarke is miscast. Oh, good for Sean. Sure, why not? I don't think that's the case, though. Kyle is saying they definitely jumped on the transgender train for a big movie like this, wondering how it will turn out with the main character in history. Oh, I don't think that's a problem. And also, transgender people existed back then. In fact, it was less frowned upon and more accepted before all the monotheistic religions like Christianity and Judaism and Islam and like all those.
And as they always say, the Greeks invented the orgy, Romans invited women.
Yeah, exactly. The world was actually way more accepting. Racism wasn't really as much of a thing. If you guys really do dig into your history, and this is not like speculation, but it's not stuff that you will learn in like History 101 either. You have to really like go back.
Yeah, you're not learning that in public school when your textbooks come from Texas.
Exactly. But the world was a more accepting, like there were more people from different, ethnic backgrounds and stuff living together, like the old Silk Road. Like people from all different backgrounds, from Mesopotamia to the Mediterranean to East India and all those, like they were trading and they were more accepting of each other. That's the world that the Odyssey is based on, not the world after the Holy Roman Empire and Christianity and everything came in and the church decided to dictate what was right and what was not and those kind of things. So yeah, the more you know. There you go. Speaking of, these are great Empire covers. I can't get the last one to load for some reason. I don't know what, they must have taken it down. But there's books in Texas. Yeah, it's a surprise to us too. But these are pretty epic Empire covers, John. I love these.
I understand Texas kind of sucks, but like, damn, they're not.
Texas
they're not
sucks ass. Like they're not all bad. But I'm like,
Dr. Pepper was invented in Texas, so it's not all bad. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Also betting whoever's playing the Cyclops has 2 eyes. Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind. I mean, you know what? This is the chance that they have to get it right, where it actually looks okay and to do somewhat practically, rather than like
Nolan actually ripped someone's eyeball out because he wanted to do it.
He just wanted to do it for practical reasons. You could do like a practical prosthetic. You could. I mean, we've seen it done decades ago. Kidding. Anyway, but the Odyssey. You know what? Christopher Nolan's making all the right moves. I appreciate that. Anyway, quick hits time, John. I believe we're
quick hits time.
Get into the quick hits part of the show.
Anyway,
let's do it.
Now we're also going to continue on with peak cinema. All hail Robert Eggers.
Craven? No.
Praise be. Werewolf. With Aaron Taylor Johnson on the hunt. He asked in an Esquire interview, they asked Eggers, what was it about? The vibe, what is it? And he's like, he's a farmer, he's a man who is cursed. It's a story about a man who is cursed, is trying to find salvation through love. He's a character who is haunted and in great pain. Nobody has a name in the movie aside from a dog. Backpedaling away from influences and mythologies that do and don't have to do with the film. The cool thing about going back into the past is that you can kind of hit a reset button, so all the cliches of being bitten by a werewolf and silver bullets and a lot of the stuff that has become almost campy doesn't exist in the mythology of this movie. So you don't need to have seen Lon Chaney Jr.'s The Wolfman or American Werewolf in London to get what's going on here. It's a really brutal, unforgiving, merciless, grotesque world. More than ever, it's mud and blood and dung and rain and pain and suffering. Aaron's performance is incredibly harrowing. We'll say without a doubt that it's his best performance. I mean, come on, Craven though. Craven.
Come on now. Let's
the
be
stuff
honest,
that he does
everybody.
physically in the transformation scenes are incredibly extreme. The emotional intensity he brings to the role is equally as extreme. He also Willem Dafoe will play a hunter, and that Lily Rose Depp is the heart of the movie. Lily is truly transformative. There's a very clear physical change in her body and her makeup, but she inhabits a very different person that's very different from her and very different from any character she's ever played. She's Aaron's wife, and she has a mother of several children, and also a farmer. She's sort of the most gracious person in the film, and you can see right here, this is the first look. Now, here's the thing, like, I know, like, I'm the guy that's like, color, but here, like, again, movies like this is where it works, like this very muted, dry, gray color tone. Something like this, something like The Long Walk, which is very brown, sepia tone. Shit like this, I expect to be on the brink of grayness because it works. That's the movie. But when you have like guys in tights beating people up, I'm like, I don't want to fucking it be brown. Like, get the fuck out of here. But this makes sense. I'm excited for this. This looks so good. This and Evil Dead Burn and Clayface are probably in terms of the rest of the year are my most anticipated movies of the year. So yeah, this looks awesome. All hail Robert Eggers. I shall worship thee until my dying breath. So I know it's a quick hit, but I really wanted to talk about it because I love Robert Eggers.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, same. I hear you, man. Let's keep going.
But anyway, moving on. Next up, Masters of the Universe. Dolph Lundgren reacts to reboot's disappointing box office haul. He said, essentially, this is like, I was disappointed. It was weird that it didn't do better. Weird because they did a lot of marketing and press. I'm not sure what all this means. But he's like, Will and Nick Galatine be signing swords for 40 years like I've been? Sometimes it could be remembered, sometimes not, even if it had a good or not so good box office. So very intelligent. Like, Dolph Lundgren is like, a lot of people like, oh, he's just roided up guy, when he's a very, very intelligent man. So he had a lot of interest. Obviously, we're not going to go through it here, but if you want to read this article, he had a very good attitude about it and a very good
He's like a seasoned veteran. He knows he's been through this before for years. So yeah.
But then next up, Donkey is gonna finally get his spin-off, and it's set for summer 2028 release. Let's see if it's as good as Puss in Boots: The Last Witch, or most likely not.
I can't wait.
Hey,
I can't. You know what? I can't wait. I don't care if it's good or not. I'm gonna watch it for the laughs. That's what you're there for. It's a spin-off of a side
I do
character.
love Eddie Murphy,
Come on.
so we'll see.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yes, Dolph is a gentleman.
Dolph Lundgren has like fucking like 6 different degrees in like different sciences.
He's a
dude. Is
people
really
don't think
smart.
of that. Yeah, like he's the guy.
Honestly, what's actually really funny, someone actually did a comparison. He is more justified to talk about different sciences than Bill Nye. Because Bill Nye only has like 1 degree in like, I think like biochemistry or something like that. Meanwhile, like Dolph Lundgren has like 7.
My mom has a degree in biochemistry.
But
no, Bill Nye is a great science communicator, but like Dolph Lundgren is more technically qualified in terms of like, he's yeah, he's actually a legit scholar.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy is an acting scholar. And
Yes.
I love his
And you know what else is scholarly? Jane Austen, because we are getting another Sense and Sensibility. Previous version was from Ang Lee back in the 2000s.
Ooh.
So
I
we're
saw this
getting
trailer.
I didn't get a chance to see this one. I didn't see it on my timeline, so I didn't get a chance to. But
I think it will be okay. We'll see. Enterprising, we'll see. But anyway,
why would your mind go to that? What?
I don't know. It's Enterprising is in a dark place right now with Supergirl. So, or he was anyway. I saw the Sense and Sensibility trailer. It's fun. It's very true to the book in terms of like the time period, and it's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's actually a very faithful adaptation, it feels like. And as somebody who likes, romantic movies, this is like, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind watching this. George McKay and Daisy Edgar Jones are certainly nice to look at, and the movie, it has Fiona Shaw in there. It's got Katrina Balfe playing the mom for the Daisy Edgar Jones character and the sisters. So yeah, and then of course George McKay. So it looks fun. It looks fun. It looks enjoyable. It's not gonna be for everybody. I'm probably like one of a very few guys you will talk to who will actually want to go see it. But it looks like a good time. So yeah.
But yes, Coffin Confessor TV series in the works at 5th season based on the true story of man paid to crash funerals and reveal secrets of the dead.
I was like, this is the perfect this is wild. Apparently this is true. This was, if you go down in this article, there was a real person.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was early. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm having it confused with Pride and Prejudice, which came out in I think 2008.
You are right. You are right.
My bad. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I think it will be fine, Enterprising. I think they're putting more effort into this donkey movie. But this concept, John, there's apparently based on the, it was a real person. I think this was like an Australian dude who used to basically get hired to go to funerals to relay the last wishes of the dead. And sometimes that meant revealing their personal secrets. And it's just a fascinatingly, I'm sure this could be a hilarious TV show, or it could get really dark, but yeah, Coffin Confessor. Like somebody probably looked at it and was like, this is a really great idea for a TV show, and they were right. So I can't wait for this to be a thing.
Yeah. And then now, I mean, we talked about Ray Gunn. Now we're talking about Ratatouille. Brad Bird on a Ratatouille sequel. No, we told that story, which is good. It didn't need a sequel.
I don't think it does.
What is it going to be?
No.
About Remy dying because a rat's life is only like 2 years old or whatever? So, like, come on.
Oh, man. That would be really sad. I don't want to see that. Yeah.
But,
you want to see Minions? I'm going to see it on Monday, Kyle. I'll let you know how it is.
Banana. Anyway. But this is good. We don't need a Ratatouille sequel. It's perfect as is. And technically, according to many, many chefs, the most accurate food film ever put to the silver screen.
Hey.
It's My Cousin Vinny to lawyers what this is to chefs. There you go.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
And same with Scrubs to medicine. Whenever it's comedy, that's ironically the stuff that's most accurate. Go figure. But Adam McKay reveals axed Talladega Nights 2 plot and says Will Ferrell's split is a shame. I'm open to the idea of working together again after 2019 breakup. Did they have like a falling out, or they just stopped making movies together?
Yeah, there was. So yeah, there was something happened with Adam McKay. I think he had like some allegations against him or something, and then like Will Ferrell was like, okay, we're not gonna be working together anymore. So then, I mean, and they haven't since then. And and Talladega Nights 2 would have been something they would have worked on together. So yeah, I mean,
I'm sure Nolan would be really happy if they could get that sequel off the. He loves Talladega
bet he would.
Nights.
It was funny to hear that that's one of his. Hey, like everybody's got.
Seth Rogen is ready to direct a movie again after the interview made him gun shy for years. We're not the biggest problem anymore. There you go. Best part of Supergirl. Am I right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, here's the thing. The interview, I thought it was funny. Like, it was stupid, but it was funny. Like, I liked it. Not a great movie,
it is?
but I enjoyed it.
Isn't that the one with the North Korean thing? Like, that's...
Yeah. because that was the one that caused like the giant hack that killed so many movies.
Right. Well, even supposedly this Amazing Spider-Man and the Sinister Six plans were part of it too, but I think it's more because of all that stuff than the movie itself that made Seth Rogen Gunn. And I get it. I mean, but he's worked on so many shows. He's been in movies. Like he's in a new movie with Olivia Wilde right now, The Invite. So yeah, I mean, 12 years is plenty of time to get over your PTSD. So good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. Next up, Aquamarine pilot based on 2006 movie set at Disney. Why? I don't. Most people don't even remember this shit.
Is it a
I remember because wasn't this like about a mermaid or something?
I think so.
Also, how the fuck is Emma Roberts still getting role? Fucking abusive cunt.
Well,
anyway.
But she was in the original, so she's gonna reprise her role and also executive produce this. So, and Sarah Watson's writing it.
Yeah, I don't fucking.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's for us, John. But like,
yeah, but like Emma Roberts is a bitch. Fuck her. Like, I hope she dies. Anyway, fuck that bitch.
Whoa.
Rogue Trooper. First, she like is a literal domestic abuser, and she got away with it because she's a woman.
Oh, really?
Okay?
I didn't know
That's
that.
Literally what happened.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Okay.
But Rogue Trooper, which is by the same writer and company who produced Dredd, as in like the original comics, the Judge Dredd,
right.
2000 AD comics. But first look at Haley Atwell as Venus Blue Jeans revealed. So we don't know much about this, but yeah, it's definitely.
They actually have some
really
artwork
cool.
here. So this was from Annecy. So you get to see the Haley Atwell character who she's gonna be voicing. It looks interesting. I saw some footage from this the other day. It was a little while ago actually, but yeah, Rogue Trooper. It looks nice. It kind of the face kind of looks like Haley Atwell actually, even though this is like all animated, but they got the face like sculpt pretty close. So cool. Looks nice.
Far Cry FX series cast Lizzie Kaplan alongside Rob Mack.
Hey,
I'm
Lizzie
probably
Kaplan.
not gonna be watching this, but cool. I
She's
guess.
gonna bring some gravitas to Far Cry. Can't wait to see this.
Yes, very much so. Anyway, streaming ads are about to get quieter. California law will go into effect next week, prohibiting streaming platforms from airing ads louder than the content they
finally.
Fucking
Finally.
Problem one. Check. Like, really? Come on. Like, I understand
mean, this is 101,
annoying, but like, come on.
I do, but I appreciate it. You know, I don't get ads because I pay for all
like,
the ad-free
okay,
stuff.
cool,
but
but
still,
like, where's the Epstein list? Like that. Like, come on. Like, oh no! Oh great! Fucking streaming ads aren't gonna be as loud. Okay, cool. Literal pedophiles run the world. Can we get a little bit more about that, please? Instead of cool, our streaming
some things
ads
are harder
gonna
to
be
get
a
a
little
hold
less
of.
loud. Ooh. Okay, great.
She was. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look, this is a good thing, though. I think we can agree this is a good thing, and
cool.
I hope that other states and
It's
maybe
like
at the federal level.
Band-Aid on a fucking gaping wound, but like, sure. Okay. The House of the Dragon season 3 premiere tames 21 million viewers in 3 days, down 8% from season 2. Oh, God forbid. You got fucking 21 million viewers. Why the fuck are you complaining? Get the fuck out of here. Come on now.
It's fine.
What is this? What are we doing here?
Hey, Harold. We're just getting to DC News in a minute, so you're here just in time.
Comcast owns Sky, agrees on terms to buy ITV's broadcast and streaming unit. I assume this is bad, but
well, yeah, consolidation, because ITV and BBC are both like, public. ITV and BBC are, yeah. So Comcast is Sky. So this is gonna be interesting because until HBO Max arrived in the UK, all their stuff would air on Sky's Showtime, I think, streaming service. So this will be interesting because ITV, I believe, has some of those like famous. I don't know if I think it's Channel 4 has the Great British Bake Off, but then there's a few other of those iconic British shows that come from ITV. Right there, I think the Britain's Got Talent and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see where stuff ends up. This is mostly for British audiences, so we shall see. But yeah.
Next up, Pan's Labyrinth returns to theaters after 20 years, and its scariest monster was always human. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be seeing this. It's going to go on sale September 9th, and it's going to come back October 9th, just in time for the Halloween season. Great film. If you haven't seen it, I own it. Arguably Guillermo del Toro's best film. Not my favorite,
Oh, I
not my
think so,
personal
yeah.
favorite, but this is probably his best film.
My personal favorite
So-
is Pacific Rim, but yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
we
he
know.
won an Oscar for this, right?
Yes, we all know. Everybody knows. We know.
Is it that big of a
Yes.
deal? Okay. Thank you. I didn't
We
think it was
know.
that big. Anyway.
You love Pacific Rim. Trust us, we know. Anyway,
I also love Battleship.
but well, that's not Del Toro. But Elmo,
True.
making sure he doesn't make another Nick-sized mistake. He
Uh-huh.
wants to clarify that Team USA A+ for the World Cup.
He's like, I like Team USA, but I also like you. Let's not make it a thing. But also good go Team USA is playing. Actually, they just ended. They just lost to Turkey, 3-2. What the fuck? Like, whatever. It's fine. Turkey got eliminated before the game even started. But there you go, Team. Well, they weren't playing all their people though, so I guess maybe they were like, do we need to really win all of our group games for the first time in decades? Do we need that?
Do we
Apparently
really
not.
need to show he's got some packing there? Anyway,
Apparently not.
but thank you. That was quick hit time. And yeah, so now we move on to DCU Daily, and segue.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka!
All right, welcome on in to another episode of DCU Daily. Of course, we have a lot of Supergirl stuff to get into. We do now actually have the audience score for Supergirl on Rotten Tomatoes, so we'll get into that for sure. We do have to talk about all the big announcements at Annecy today. So 3 new TV shows, 2 new animated TV shows that they announced. So we're going to get into all of that. I'm sure John will want to say a thing or two about it. Harold, thank you. Yeah, the DCU Daily intro is pretty cool. And hello to Jalen, of course. Jalen is here. Just got back from Supergirl. Really liked it. Nice. Well, just so you guys know, we're still not doing spoiler talk here, but we will get into spoilers on Monday because there's Enterprising hasn't seen it yet. There's a few people still gonna go see it over the weekend. Kyle did see it today though. So yeah. Jalen also saying I for sure give it an 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I did. 8 out of 10. I gave it a 7.5. John gave it a 7.5, and I think Liz gave it a 7 out of 10. So I forget what Enterprising is seeing it tomorrow. I did Kyle. I forget if Kyle gave us his rating earlier. I think he gave it a 7 out of 10 as well. So yeah, look, the audience rating is definitely higher. We'll get into that in a minute. But it's not super high though. Yeah, Jalen saying not a perfect movie for sure. But it's a good movie and doesn't deserve the Rotten Tomatoes score. You know what? I still say that about some of those DCEU movies, but I'm probably still in the minority on that because I'm like, okay, so you may not like Batman v Superman, but it also wasn't so bad that it got like a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. Right? Like sometimes because you got to remember Rotten Tomatoes, the percentage number it's giving you is more a reflection of the number of critics out of the total that reviewed it, liked it or didn't like it. So it's a literal percentage rather than more an accurate reflection of what people thought about it. So that's why you usually want to click into the score and then see what the average rating is, combining everybody's scores. Like I think Supergirl was sitting at 5.7 out of 10 yesterday, which did reflect like 56%, which is I think currently still the critic score. So sometimes the numbers work out that way. But anyway, with me of course to talk DC, we got John. John, what part of DC stuff are you excited about today?
Animated stuff. I'm talking about, Annecy. Talking about that. That's very exciting. I'm
Nice.
we're a lot of Supergirl, so a little tuckered out on that. But even though I liked the movie, that was a good movie, but a little tuckered out. And
Yeah.
I want to see like new stuff, new breathing, new life.
Well, we still have a lot of Supergirl to get into too as well.
Yeah.
But Figure Drawing was saying, Dan, a 7.5 from you. What is your updated score for Superman? Well, I after seeing it a couple more times after my first time around, I think I would give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I still have some problems with it, but 8.5 out of 10 for Superman.
10 out of 10. Yeah,
for
nah, I'm
Supergirl.
just kidding. Like, I'd probably give it like realistically a 9.5 or something like that.
Okay. Well, Arcade, not looking forward to it, but we'll still go watch it for supporting. I mean, hey, you know what? Go in with no expectations and see how you like it. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. If you like it, great. Pan's Labyrinth is great movie, but absolutely. Harold is saying I think the audience score is closer to what the critic score should be. Some of the reviews are too harsh. We definitely agree. Like, the Variety review seemingly was like personally offended that this movie was made. You know, so there's a few reviews that go really, really deep into it. I don't really know why. And you know what? We'll talk about the box office potential later. Enterprising 300 million seems to be the magic number, but will it get there? We'll have to find out. But we will talk about it later on. But before we get that far, John, we do have to talk about some DC quick hits. So let's just walk us through some of the DC quick hits.
Yeah,
there's some Supergirl stuff in here too, as well.
And James Gunn, yeah, he's not fucking stupid. He knows that we're watching the videos
James
that people
knows.
have taken from set. Like, come on now. It's from
And
Brandon
when Brendan Davis
who's-
asked him, he's like, "Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know." He was just like walks away. He's like, "You guys are not even getting the whole picture." Like,
because he's like, he's
you
not
guys
fucking
think
stupid.
You
like,
know shit.
And he said, like, this was what he was saying about Clayface when those pictures were dropping. He was like, do you really think we're gonna fucking reshoot an entire movie because some pictures of makeup got leaked onto the internet? Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. I just like that he's so happy. He's like, "Oh, I know you guys are seeing all those photos and videos, but like you
ain't
know
fucking
half
seen
of it."
nothing yet, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You don't know shit about shit.
Because I bet you they've already shot up shit ton of Brainiac stuff. Because we know Lars Ettinger has been on set, and we don't even know what Brainiac looks
what
like.
did he
in the
say? The
movie.
epitome of
So,
fiction, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, some Shakespearean thing that he said along. Yeah, so I'm like, James Gunn knows shit. Like, he's only showing us what he wants us to see, and I think that's still enough. Like, it's still plenty to get the hype train going. So, yeah. Anyway, let's keep going with the
Most
quick hits.
definitely. Millie Alcock apparently celebrated getting cast as Supergirl in this very relatable way because she's hashtag
It's just if you
relatable.
just stick to the bullet
Yeah.
points there that tell you what she did.
Yeah, friends, cheap champagne, dancing. Wish I was there. Sounds like a fun time.
She was kind of joking about how, like, you know, she got the news in an email and would have wanted it to be a phone call. I remember when they did this like early fan event this year for Supergirl, and James Gunn was there with Peter Safran and Millie Alcock, and Craig Gillespie as well. They were talking about this, and I think what happened was James Gunn called her, and it went to voicemail. So then he just left her an email, and she was like, "Well, you didn't even call me," and like she's like, "You went to voicemail." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, touche." So it's fine. But yeah, I mean, she did it like, you know, what a Gen Z person would do: get cheap champagne and go dancing and have fun with your friends in Australia.
I mean,
this is very
that's-
much the breakout role for her. So, you know,
I mean,
it's not like she was
it's
rolling
better
in
than
money, so.
when Henry Cavill got the call. He was like, "I almost didn't get the call because I was busy playing World of Warcraft."
That's so relatable. I'm like, you know what? Give that man a role in that franchise. But yeah.
I mean, he's trying to get, you know, his fucking Warhammer show off the ground. So
yeah, that's been a up and down struggle, I hear. But we'll see. The regime at Amazon keeps changing. So if they're interested in anything that he has to offer or not. Movie Split saying whether I like a Supergirl or not, whether it's a hit or not, I still like James Gunn and DC and rooting for his success. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let us know when you do get to see it, Movie Spud. We would love to hear from you. But yeah, let's keep going, John. More of these quick hits.
But you know, just Ridley just being funny on
The
social
POV
media.
of like,
just-
oh, you think she's so cute, but she's actually out for revenge. Like, I'm like, that's a look. That's a very dangerous look. You don't want to get that look from Ruthie.
And then IMAX is like, "Mom, pick me up. I'm scared."
Is that what IMAX is gonna also comment like on reactions from the Odyssey? "Ma, pick me up. I'm scared."
Fucking Nolan made too much peak, and I can't handle it. I think Eve Ridley did do a very good job. She was a little annoying at points, but like
Yeah.
that was kind of the point because she was a kid. So, you know,
Yeah.
I still liked her a lot. I think she did a good
Absolutely.
job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're in your 20s, how else would you celebrate getting the biggest role of your career? Go get drunk and have some partying. I mean, it's also kind of like very much in line with the character that she's playing. So, you know, it works. It works out. You know why they cast her for the role. Well, again, not passing judgment, but I'm just saying that's perfectly normal how she celebrated. So let's keep going, John, on the quick hits.
Yes. Next up, this was Millie on Fallon, and how talking about how superhero poses were done by squirrels, and how
I think the director told her. Who told her? She was like, "You should do this pose."
Yeah, it was like the costume designer, I think, or like the actor, or the choreographer. So
like, do the pose, do the landing pose like a squirrel lands. I'm like you're like, what do you mean?
Although this entire comment section is still about Conor McGregor being invited onto Jimmy Fallon, so
I don't. You know what? Great. People can go fuck off, but this is crazy. I'm like, no, it's a real
people
story.
Are 100% right because Conor McGregor is a fucking rapist piece of fucking shit.
No.
He deserves to have
I'm
his
saying
dick ripped
stay
off.
on topic.
Fuck that
but
guy.
I'm saying,
okay,
dude. But I'm saying stay on topic. I want to talk about.
Sometimes you gotta let your voice be heard in regards to the worst of humanity. So good for the people chanting that from the high seas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is really funny though. But with the good old superhero landing, bad on the knees. Anyway,
do it like a squirrel, they said. Hey DJ,
but,
how you doing,
James Gunn saying, talking about Rick Flag Sr., how he was in the original, Suicide Squad before it was, what is essentially the villainous, group.
What
that's
are we, some kind of Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad was originally just like a army group. So which I think was John Ostrander, I think, was the one who introduced the villainous Suicide Squad.
Which James Gunn tried to go back to that kind of iteration in his version of the movie too. I remember.
Yeah, and then this was the more militaristic.
Oh look, there's Jared Leto's Joker,
where it was just a bunch of soldiers or whatever the fuck. So yeah, Daddy, Frank Grillo over here.
I just love the meme, the Jared Leto Joker. This is perfect. What the fuck is that?
Anyway, and you got a bunch of haters in the comments, but yeah, this is definitely something that's very big. Absolute Batman. We're going to be getting into it a little bit later, but the bat symbol is getting even bigger, possibly even a brick. DC Studios is proud to announce that Absolute Batman is being developed into an original animated series, and that will lead us in.
It just got bigger.
Sure. I mean, yeah, we're gonna, be getting into that now. Not the only one, but Absolute Batman, Crypto, and Joker Laugh Riot were all unveiled at the DC Studios Warner Brothers Animation Joint Annecy Showcase. So even though Absolute Batman has only been around for a year at most, it's getting an animated show because enough people love it, because they need to milk this cash cow for all it's worth until it can't give you any more. So,
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
it's just been a matter of time.
So we have another How Do You Do Fellow Kids with Joker Laugh Riot, which apparently is going to be an anime series. And then Crypto, which is apparently going to be done by series his Crypto series is going to be done by SpongeBob alum C.H. Greenblatt.
Yeah.
So so with all of this in terms of Joker Laugh Riot, helmed by C.H. Chow or KO or whatever it is, award-winning director Yasushiro Aoki, who previously worked on the War of the Royal Rim, the Lord of the Rings spinoff. The trailblazing show will take viewers alongside the Joker as he launches a ruthless crusade through Gotham's underworld to find Batman's killer, who took away his greatest adversary and incidentally his own kill. But as his violent quest for answers pushes him closer towards vigilante than villain, Joker is forced to confront the truth that without Batman, he doesn't know who he is. Without Batman, crime has no punchline. We already fucking knew this. I mean, it's a decent idea.
I love this.
But it's just I like it, but I don't like the idea of make Joker an anti-hero. Guys, can we stop making villains anti-heroes? Can we please stop? It's getting sickening at this point. Like, just keep villains as villains, keep anti-heroes anti-heroes, and keep heroes heroes. It's just like, I'm just sick of the idea, like, oh, because Joker doesn't have Batman, he's gonna be like a vigilante, or he's gonna be much better. Kind of like what White Knight did, but not as cleverly written as that was. And even then, I didn't really like White Knight that much, from what I read of it. So, it's just.
I mean, John, who knew that we needed a dystopian sequel to the Lego Batman movie? Like, this is what that is.
Sure.
Where they deal with the whole Batman and Joker relationship. You know what? I will be honest with you though, as a true anime project, the concept is exciting. I can't wait to see this.
So,
but now everybody wants to talk
about. Let's
Joker,
fucking move on to the shit that people actually fucking care about. Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
In front of what registered dubbed the best audience in the world for animation, the announcement of an animated adaptation, but it says adaptation here, of Absolute Batman, the award-winning and best-selling DC comic book series, was met with raucous applause and cheers by the Annecy's crowd. Register and Safran, along with Peter Girardi, Executive Vice President of Alternative Programming at Warner Brothers Animation, unveiled the new adult animated series written by Scott Snyder with art by Nick Dragotta. As creators shared first-look images of the upcoming series, Scott Snyder will serve as executive producer and showrunner, with Dragotta as producer. The comic book series has sold more than 6 million copies to date, with the first issue of Absolute Batman reaching an 11th edition.
Wow.
All Absolute titles, including Absolute Batman, rank among the top 10 best-selling comics of 2025. Beyond adult animation, Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios also revealed Thursday that a new crypto animated series had been greenlit with Chowder and Jellystone creator writer C.H. Grimble. I knew I fucking recognized that name.
Chowder.
Honestly, Chowder, it kind of fits. Anyway, set to drive this fun-filled super canine adventure. The series, currently under development, follows Crypto as he tags along with a gang of misfit criminal wannabes who live down the block. They soon discover he's a ball of destructive, lovable energy, worse than any of them, as he accompanies them into misadventures and poorly laid plans. Crypto's pure nature slowly ends up redeeming them, whether they want it or not. So kind of like, the idea of like, oh, Superman brings, the best out of anybody, but it's with Crypto. So,
I like it.
This is definitely really awesome to see. And there was also a lot of other announcements in regards to Creature Commandos, Batman Cape Crusader, Mr. Miracle, as well as the Vertigo side. Get Jiro is set to premiere on Adult Swim this fall. So
I heard about that. That sounded interesting. That's been in like development hell for a bit.
Yeah,
or no, they previewed it a couple of years ago. I think it was the first time.
So it's definitely very exciting to be, well, at least on the animation side of things, they seem to be doing well. So that's good.
You know what I was gonna say, John, just for a moment before we move on, because we gotta talk about like now basically where things stand on the animation side. But I was gonna say, remember after Superman came out, there was this report about they're working on multiple different spin-offs, and then one of them was gonna be like, the report was they're gonna do a Jimmy Olsen thing, they're gonna do a Crypto thing, and then maybe a Gorilla Grodd thing. Well, we know the Jimmy Olsen Gorilla Grodd thing is one thing. We've talked about that, and now it looks like, I feel like instead of the Crypto shorts, this Crypto show is what was being reported on. It's just now the pieces are starting to fit together, that these have probably been in development since Superman came out last year. So I'm excited.
And now we're getting 7, 8 now, because well, in addition to the 3 animated shows that were announced like last year, which was Starfire, which was like the cosmic adventure kind of show, and then My Adventures with Green Lantern, which is going to be in the same continuity as My Adventures with Superman, and then DC Superpowers, which I think is kind of gonna be like a Sky High type of thing,
essentially,
or like My Hero Academia, where it's like in school and they're learning how to use their powers, in addition to DCU canon stuff of Creature Commandos and Mr. Miracle. So
Mr. Miracle was the most recent one that we heard about. That was late last year. We found out Tom King's working on that.
So
sorry, John. But now we got.
I will say, Mr. Miracle was the least terrible thing he did. So like,
Hey,
you know.
you know what? The new DC animated universe, I don't know if any of these things are going to cross over other than the My Adventure stuff, it's looking pretty good. You got two DC canon things going on. And then when you add in the movie dynamic duo, which they also talked about this week already, wow. I mean, they've got a very robust pipeline here with the new Warner Brothers Pictures animation, as well as DC Studios, which they co-presented all this stuff at Annecy. So, I mean, dude, Absolute Batman, the animated series, you know that's going to be a popular show. Like that, the comic book industry right now, Absolute Comics and Absolute Batman specifically are literally carrying the whole comics industry.
Yeah, they are the Atlas of the comic industry right now.
They literally are. So, Jalen asking, would you guys agree with that even with Supergirl's shortcoming, depending on what? But with all this animation news that James Gunn is still doing good, I think so. Like, look, I said it yesterday, you can't judge them on one project. You have to judge them on their totality of the work that they're doing as a whole, because they're building a universe, but also they're building a studio's output. They're rebuilding everything DC animated for the newly restructured Warner Brothers animation. Like there's a lot more to what James Gunn and Peter Safran doing than even the DCU. Because the DCU, like, look at this, there's only 2 of those 8 shows that are actually part of the DCU canon. So the DC Studios is doing a great job. And then if Supergirl is the one miss amongst all of this, then I think everything else overall is doing well, because DC Studios, much like Marvel does Marvel Television, Marvel Games, Marvel Studios does the movies. It's a lot of different things. I know Marvel Studios started out only doing movies, but DC Studios, it's different because DC Studios started in a world when Marvel was doing all these other things. So animation, and then we have heard there'll be games announcements down the road. So James Gunn, Peter Safran's job is not just to create and run the DCU. That's only part of it. It's the most significant part of it, but it's ultimately not the whole kahuna. Everything else around it also matters. Like the Elseworld stories matter, animation matters, and clearly, I think so far, I mean, you could say maybe some of this is safe, but like Absolute Batman might be a safe pick, Crypto might be a safe pick, but like Joker Laugh Riot could go horribly wrong or could be super amazing. Like could be the new Samurai Jack, like we'll see how it plays out. But I'm excited. The gaming stuff always takes longer, especially because what they did to reboot Warner Brothers Animation, it seems like they're doing something similar and it's in progress for the gaming side. And I know like they shelved that Wonder Woman game and all that, but like ultimately it seems like, they're making some hard decisions to hopefully then bring in, a fresh slate that's worth basically people's time, effort, and then, it's not going to create games that flop. So yeah, exactly. After decades of neglect, because remember guys, James Gunn and Peter Safran, when they got hired, one of the things that James Gunn said is like for years, whenever somebody wanted to play with some part of DC's IP, Warner Brothers would just be like, sure, you can have it. And sometimes you got the Dark Knight trilogy, other times you got Batman and Robin. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to set a new baseline, and they're being protective of the IP, because no matter what you do with anything DC related, you now have to go through James Gunn and Peter Safran to get a green light, whether it's video games, whether it's animation, live action, whether it's part of the DCU or it's not part of the DCU. It has to go through them. Like Joker Folio Do was the last project that was DC related that was not, under the purview of DC Studios. So everything from here onwards will be, which is good. And I think this is a good start for the animation side. So yeah, we'll see where all that goes. Yeah, no, exactly. There you go, Jalen. Thank you for asking the question. But John, as we mentioned earlier, of course, the main event still is Supergirl. The summer of Supergirl is still on, and now that we have kind of sat with the movie for a day, you and I seeing it yesterday, I know a bunch of you guys saw it today. Some of you guys are still yet to see it this weekend. Let's talk about the box office a bit more, because we do have some new information in terms of how it's tracking. This is based on a report in the Wrap. But what they said in the Wrap was that Warner Brothers insiders, this is part of a bigger article in the Wrap, but essentially they were saying, according to their metrics, the movie has a budget of $175 million. And as far as what they expect over at Warner Brothers in terms of success for the movie, according to some insiders that the Wrap is in touch with, the studio would take anything above $300 million worldwide as a win for Supergirl, which is what I've been talking about for a while. 300 to 400, anything in that range they would be happy with. Also, the budget I feel like is not 175, like the true budget once you account for all the tax credits and all the production tax incentives. We have talked about that before. I think James Gunn, debunked somebody talking about the budget being like 185 or something like that. It was like, this is not even close to that expensive a few months ago. So the presumption, let's just say it's 150 or less, and then whatever they spend on marketing. So all in, you probably are looking at still over $200 million. But remember, they're also counting that $100 million they got in media value from all the promotional partnerships. So let's say they need to recoup 150 million, right? Let's just look at that number. That would still mean they would need to make over 200 million. Hello, Eric. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's just they're trying to simplify things and be more consistent. But John, what they said in the wrap, if you can go down for a moment, there was another quote. So this I found very interesting. Apparently, some people in the studio hope that Matthias Schoenaerts, because he's in the movie, he's an actor that apparently has some overseas appeal, so it might help boost the film's international potential, which I read and I was like, I don't really think Matthias Schoenaerts is like that popular to
actually
have a
acting like he's
measurable
like
impact
Donnie Yen or
on the
Jackie
box
Chan or
office.
something in terms of international appeal. Like,
no,
calm down.
He's
like a
not
nobody
even
Dutch
close.
actor. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's no Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen got his own spin-off movie. Like yeah, I'm sorry. Like even the rap article kind of doubted that logic. So yeah, don't forget. I think 110. I don't think they're gonna make 110 million in the UK alone. I don't even think the only movies that make that kind of money in the UK are like Avengers, Doomsday, probably Spider-Man, Brand New Day. I don't think Supergirl's making 110 million in the UK. It's just not gonna do that. I mean, that would be a huge number, and I just don't see it. The UK is not big enough of a market. They only have like 300 screens, more or less. Like the UK, a movie releasing in the US, a wide release goes to like 4,000 screens. So, yeah. I mean, Jason Momoa has overseas appeal, and Matthias Schoenaerts did apparently Belgium. So
okay,
there you go.
Whatever.
I didn't realize. Like, cool.
I don't give a shit.
I know. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying like that's just Brian wanted to point that out. I did want to go into the article on the wrap for a moment, John, if I can. Let me see if I can load this up, because I think it's interesting. Some of the things they mentioned in the wrap are a little concerning because they compared it to like the box office of The Flash. Because they're looking at right now, based on how the numbers are playing out, $40 to $50 million opening weekend domestically. We talked about it yesterday. At most, it might do like somewhere around like 90 million worldwide, which isn't terribly high. And the closest movie in terms of the box office, the last time we saw something like, that opened with these kind of numbers, it was, I think, The Flash. And The Flash went on to finish up with like 272 million. And also they're comparing like the Rotten Tomatoes ratings, because if again, just trying to compare, The Flash had a 63%, and then it got like buried by Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Elemental, which were much higher performing movies with the critics. Supergirl currently sits at 56%, the last I checked, which is closer to The Mandalorian and Grogu and Masters of the Universe in terms of Rotten Tomatoes. And both of those movies haven't made a ton of money. Both of those could be considered underperforming, if not entirely flops. Whereas you look at Toy Story, it's going to make 90 million in its second weekend, probably still going to make another 50 in its third weekend. And in its third weekend, the Minions comes in for another 100 to 125 million on that 5 days 4th of July weekend holiday. So basically, Minions releases on a Wednesday, and it plays for like a good 5 days straight because it's the whole 4th of July holiday weekend. So between the Minions, between Toy Story, it's not looking good, because if it's starting at 40 to 50, dude, remember The Flash dropped 72.5% in its second weekend. If, let's say, Supergirl drops by 70%, even 69%, which is what the Mandalorian and Grogu dropped by, like, you do the math on that, and that's a really bad number. Like, if it makes 50 million and it drops by 70% in its second weekend, that means Supergirl is going to make $20 million or less. And I just don't see that leading to. Oh, you mean, okay, Hunter, you're talking about the tax breaks, right? Yes, that does bring the budget down. But I'm saying like the break even point still ends up being like 250, $300 million, right? If it only makes like 85 to 90 million in this opening weekend, hello MTG, and then you add on the other numbers I just mentioned, I just don't know how it gets to that number 300 million, John. Like even 272 million, which is what the Flash ended up doing ultimately, feels a little out of reach. Like I don't know, where do you sit on this right now? Because I'm a little worried based on the opening weekend numbers and the competition.
I mean, I am like a little worried. You know, like that's how I've always kind of been like with this movie, is a little you know, just a little iffy because it's just like, you know, the idea of like this is a niche character, the controversies, it being sandwiched between two really big movies, like that's, you know, I've always been like, even before like all this was known, it's I was a little worried. Plus, you know, the comic it's based on, all that shit. So, you know, it's you know, it's very complicated. We'll just have to fucking, you know, wait and see like we always do. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing we were talking about yesterday with Liz, which Liz was like very honest about, that this movie needs to stay in theaters for like 2-3 months straight exclusively, like those Disney movies. Like Mando is still playing in theaters, but like Warner Brothers didn't even leave Superman in theaters for more than 35 days. So like I feel like that's something that we can't necessarily rely on. So yeah, it's not looking pretty, but I guess we'll find out how. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom about this, guys. I'm just looking at the numbers and the math is not adding up. So and the word of mouth we will talk about in a minute. In fact, let's just do a quick check on how Supergirl's Rotten Tomato score compares to the other DC projects so far. Creature Commandos is a TV show, had 95%. Peacemaker season 2 had 94%. Now, those aren't fair comparisons to the movies because Rotten Tomatoes is not really known for their TV review metrics. There's far fewer critics that review TV shows than movies. So, excuse me, like with Creature Commandos and Peacemaker, like TV show ratings tend to have, because it's a smaller sample size, it's not like, you know, apples to apples comparisons to movie reviews. So you look at Superman sitting at 83%. I thought that was pretty solid last year. I was thinking it was going to be 85%. It was for a while, then it like slowly trickled down and settled at 83, but really good. And then I think the audience scores were even higher. So good numbers. But then Supergirl was sitting at 57 yesterday. Currently it's sitting at 56. That's a significant drop. And that puts it in the rotten territory. And then we'll get to the audience score in a minute, but the audience scores, while they're higher than the critic score, they're not like a home run 90% or something like that. So that's still also concerning. MTG is saying second weekend drop being 70% off of 50 million would be terrible. 70% off 100 million is fair. Well, that's what I mean. But like, you know, the Flash opened to 63 million, had a similar Rotten Tomatoes score, similar audience ratings, and had a 72% drop in its second weekend. And that was competing against Elemental and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Those movies aren't as big a box office behemoths as Toy Story 5 and the Minions movie, Minions and Monsters, is going to be. So it's not just the movie itself, it's the competition that also matters. And I think that's that's going to end up hurting Supergirl, unfortunately. Yeah. I think we were all kind of worried about like where it's slotted between other much bigger movies in terms of box office. And it feels like we were like, as long as Supergirl is great and people love it, the audience reactions are great, the critics love it, the movie will be able to weather the storm. But it's not been that. It's not been spotless with critics. It's not spotless with the audiences. Most of our reviews are 7.5, 8 out of 10. While that's a good number, that's not like a home run.
That's like you said, John,
9.5 out of 10 for Superman, right? So, yeah, I don't think Matthias Schoenaert's star power has anything to do with anything. That was funny to read, that anybody at the studio thinks that actually matters. Is it 58 now? It was 59 at one point. John, do you have the Rotten Tomatoes up for us? If we can take a look at it quickly. So it's gone up again. So it's gone up to 58%, which is like, now maybe it can get to 60% again. We'll see. We'll see if Enterprising likes it. We'll see tomorrow if Enterprising likes it. But John, so talking about the score, 58% Rotten Tomatoes score, now it's getting to around 200 reviews, 193. If you click that number, do we have the average rating number from them? Like what?
The average is like
5.6 out of 10.
about 5.6.
That's not exactly convincing either. Yeah, I feel like if they put this movie out in August, it might, if it was like 3 weeks after Spider-Man Brand New Day, like maybe it would have reaped the benefits of like, oh, the last superhero movie was really good. Let's go see Supergirl, and not be in between two big.
But the thing is, they
animated movies either,
wanted
so.
something in the beginning of the year. That was the issue. It should have probably.
They should have
fucking
moved
come out-
Lanterns forward, you know?
Yeah, it should have probably come out in like April or May, but
maybe, yeah.
you know.
We talked about this. Remember at one point they were considering it and never actually happened. There was a report going around that they might move it to April or May, and it never came to pass. I don't know if that was actually a thing or not, or if it was just, you know, some random reporting, but I don't know. In hindsight, maybe, well, I'm sure Warner Brothers will debrief on this once the movie's run its course at the box office, and we'll see where the number lands ultimately. Yeah, in order to climb all the way back up to 60%, literally every review from here onwards, which is probably like another 30, 40 reviews, they all will have to be like mostly positive. So we'll see if it does that. I mean, again, it's not even Friday yet proper. So maybe as the weekend, you know, goes on, it will get back up to 60%.
Yeah.
But John, 76% popcorn meter is still just 500 plus. So there's probably going to be more reviews added in. Here's my thing about popcorn meter scores. The people who review on Rotten Tomatoes, which are verified, you can't just review bomb anymore. But the people that put their audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes either really love the movie or they really hate the movie. It's the same as any review you get for any product. Most people that buy a product don't review it unless they're either paid to do it, you know, which sometimes you get an incentive, like do the review, you get a gift card or something. Or if you do it for free, you're only going to do it if you really hated it or if you really loved it, which is why my rule with popcorn meter scores is if it's 85% or higher, that to me is significant. That means people loved it. If it's under 85, then that's enough for me to be like, oh no, that's mixed. Like for me, basically a 76% popcorn meter is equivalent to a 58% with the critics. It just says there's a mixed reception for this. And while the movie might make, you know, more money in post-theatrical VOD streaming and stuff, talking about the box office, we don't have a cinema score yet. We will get that in a few days' time. John, I feel concerned that the audiences are not loving this movie. They're liking it, but they maybe like are not loving it as like an overall like perspective. Like as on as a whole, people aren't walking away thinking, "Oh my God, the best movie of the summer." Even though if you listen to the marketing, somebody apparently had that as a quote, but I don't think that's the majority consensus. Like, where do you sit on this? Do you feel like Supergirl is really in trouble with this popcorn meter score?
It seems like it. I'm just gonna say that, yeah, in the shitter. Just leave my expectations like just down under because no pun intended. It's just like, yeah, it's not doing great. It's a shame. We had a hit and then a miss in terms of the big screen. Creature Commandos was for the most part a hit. For a lot of people, Peacemaker was mostly a miss. Lanterns is not looking good for at least the Green Lantern fans. Maybe like the True Detective fans will come in and like this show, but considering that these are back-to-back Tom King based projects, that hey, maybe this. Honestly, this is going to sound terrible because I want this movie to win because I hate all the fucking, you know, douchebag incels that have been like, oh, this movie's going to suck because I can't jerk off to the main character. But maybe this is a, like, very, like, bad in a sort of way. Like it's a good lesson to James Gunn. Like, hey, don't fucking do Tom King shit. How about that? Like, you have one in the can where it's, you know, people clearly didn't like it, despite being way better than the story it's based on. It still has that taintness of, you know, King attached to it. Then you have him where the show that pretty much has gotten nothing but hate is, you know, has him as a fucking executive producer, showrunner. So that's not good. And then we'll see how Mr. Miracle does. But yeah, it's not looking good. And maybe this is the hard lesson that James Gunn needs to hear. Like, yeah, just because you like it doesn't mean everyone else is gonna like it. Maybe Anna Noguera isn't the secret genius you fucking thought she was, and we'll see if whatever future project she has, whether it's Wonder Woman, Teen Titans, whatever comes first, if that's not good, then I think you put your faith in the wrong people, James, because clearly Noguera,
I agree with MTG, by the way. Yeah. Talked about that yesterday.
First time, well, here's the thing. But here's the thing. The most criticisms I have seen of this movie was that the writing was bad.
NTR.
Like, I have seen,
I think it's all about direction and editing. I was telling you yesterday, we were talking about it yesterday. I think you and I agree that I don't think the script, like, people shouldn't blame the screenwriting, because I think the issues were mostly editing. And then by virtue of that, because ultimately the director's doing a lot of work there, I think the direction could have been a little bit better in that level, and then the editing definitely was a letdown, because this movie just didn't breathe when it needed to.
This universe wouldn't have any bad movies. That's just wrong.
I think it's too early. Like it's the second movie in the franchise.
It's the second movie in the franchise, and yeah, it's sad to see. We wanted this, like, oh my god, we're catapulting this stuff. But the thing is, in terms of the future, we might, have something good, like your Lanterns. Maybe it'll be a huge surprise. Maybe it will actually be good. Or Clayface. I have like a lot of faith, and I'm not just saying that as a horror fan or a Mike Flanagan fan. It just looks like a really good movie. And on top of the fact, you're getting a demographic that might not be seeing superhero movies. So you have that, and horror has been doing really good this year. So yeah, you've had a couple stinkers here and there, like Psycho Killer and Passenger. But for the most part, horror has been doing very, very good this year. Obsession and Backrooms being the creme de la creme, but you've also had Hokum and Undertone. Primate was another, big hit for Paramount. So you've had a lot of good stuff in horror coming out this year. So maybe Clayface will continue that, and that's the movie that all the people are going to go to, and that's the movie that's going to make a lot of money. So obviously we'll have to wait and see. But, we just have to sit and wait. Supergirl was not the big hit. That's a shame, but hey, I hate to compare things to the MCU because they're so different, but Iron Man was the big hit, and then Incredible Hulk was not as big of a hit. So, that's just kind of how it is.
Ultimately, it didn't matter as much, obviously, in hindsight, which is why I think, again, this shouldn't be used, as something to whip James Gunn and Peter Safran's record with, because Peter Safran still has produced like the only $1 billion movie that the DCEU made, which was the first Aquaman movie, and he was part of like the Shazam movies, which were, especially the first one, which was really well received. But as far as so I want to address this real quick, because Enterprising and others have brought this up since yesterday, and I don't know where you guys are getting this from. I kind of understand the logic behind the idea that maybe Warner Brothers would pressure Gunn to at least hire a co-writer for Wonder Woman, given that it's the same writer, Anna Noguera, who wrote Supergirl. But when you said Warner Brothers, the only person who has any influence over Peter Safran and James Gunn is David Zaslav. And then once the merger goes through, David Ellison. We'll see exactly how the structure works out, but as of right now, I'm predicting it's going to stay roughly similar. That they're going to,
if they still have jobs, because if we'll see. 3 projects this year fucking tank, we'll see how it goes.
But as of right now, it's only David Zaslav. So and here's the other thing, like, I don't think this is likely that they're going to force him to have a co-writer. And B, there's such a thing as ghostwriters, which happens on a ton of movies in Hollywood, especially big blockbusters, which Wonder Woman would be expected to be in that category, who come in and basically they're script doctors, they're ghostwriters who will help with the script, but will never get credited in the actual movie. And I feel like if they did actually need to do that, and I don't think James Gunn believes Anna Noguera's script was, because he's read the script. Like, that's why they greenlit it. So, like, I think they'll know that maybe she wasn't the reason why the movie underperformed. It's just, I mean, look, and honestly, I don't even know if this movie was 15 minutes longer for me and better pacing, and had some better VFX, or like some of the problems I had with this movie weren't there, that if it would do a whole hell of a lot better. Because I feel like some of the reasons why like this movie is not working really well is not even because of the writing. Like, even if they do hire a co-writer for Wonder Woman or something, it won't be public. But I think this movie, there's a lot of external factors they got wrong, some of which were things like they released it at a time which clearly in hindsight was a death knell, because this movie needed all the help it could get. It needed a less crowded time of the summer to be out there. And
What you
Toy Story
needed,
5 is gonna eat it alive
and
before Minions eats the scraps.
yeah,
And then
or
like
as
it's
we
just
said in the GTA one, if
yeah.
Netflix killed physical media, Rockstar ran over the carcass. If Toy Story 5 killed Supergirl, Minions will run over the carcass.
Exactly. No, that's a very good analogy, because it does feel like that, and it's probably like, for example, just this. I want to bring this up real quick, John. We'll get to that stuff later, but this was something else that the Wrap does. I have this chart right here. They do these like screen share charts, which is basically a social media awareness metric. So you look at the awareness level of things here. This is just general pop culture stuff. What are people talking about on social media? So the highest is the FIFA World Cup, which makes sense. 5.9% of the mentions include that, and it's going up. Toy Story 5, Spider-Man Brand New Day, even House of the Dragon are all up. Supergirl, the week that it comes out, is still sitting at number 5. I would have expected it to be at the very least in the top 3. It doesn't need to be number 1. It needs to be in the top 3. Michael, Mando, Obsession, Dutch and Ranch, and GTA 6, they're all in the top 10. That is another thing where I think it's, in addition to the scheduling, I think the other issue this movie probably had is this was a character that was always going to be a risk, and they didn't give it the schedule, like release timing, to like help it out. And I think this was too early to go for a Supergirl movie, and because it wasn't perfect, it's a death by 1,000 cuts. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now. We're only going into the weekend, so I feel like we're kind of in some ways preemptively writing his obituary. But it just, the numbers and everything is just not lining up where ideally we would have liked for it to be. So I don't want to like keep beating a dead horse, but I guess we'll have plenty of time to dissect this movie as it goes, into next week and then the week after. But I mean, look, M2G said his theater loved it. They got all the emotional moments, they all landed. So yeah, I mean, I feel like people are still liking it. Like our theaters yesterday at the early screening were all filled. So, and you know what? If Man of Tomorrow makes money, I think we'll be fine. And Man of Tomorrow probably will be a better movie overall because it's James Gunn doing his thing. Um, there's no more. Okay, thank you. So you guys would say James Gunn, Peter Safran are 2 for 2. Well, if Peacemaker is the other one, then yeah, for me maybe, yeah. But anyway, well, yeah, I mean, music and placement was rushed. Yeah, we've talked about that before. Director's job to oversee the editing. It is, but I think in most cases the studio gets the final cut. So like James Gunn and Peter Safran's notes would have to be taken into account. So there's that. Harold Singh, I'm optimistic Lanterns Clayface get things back on track. This should be a learning experience for Gunn. Yeah, both things are true. I hope that those projects will bring it on track. Moser Player, hello, saying the audience score for the movie on Rotten Tomatoes is 76%. Looks like the Snyder Bros might be in trouble, huh? Well, no, 76% is actually concerning, is what I was trying to get at. Like, audience scores, should anything under 85 is concerning. And I think the cinema score will matter.
I think 85 is when it hits the certified hot popcorn meter, right? Is that what it is?
Yes, exactly. Anything under 85% is concerning because it's like product reviews. Only the people that really loved or hated the movie will review it. So you don't want a middling score. And 76% is the definition of middling score. I feel like the cinema score at this point will probably be a B-, which is going to be troublesome. But the DCU is here to stay. One rough ride with a movie is not going to derail the DCU. Clearly, they're already working on ideas for even after Man of Tomorrow, like Peter Safran and the other producers, Lars Pieper, talked about on the red carpet for this movie. So I think this might just be like a brief bump in the road, especially if Clayface is a big hit, which it looks fantastic. So, and it doesn't come out at a time of the year when Toy Story 5 and Minion can like run it over and then, really just eat it all its lunch and breakfast and dinner and take its lunch money after and then shove it into the toilet and dump its head in the toilet and then, I don't know, throw it into the garbage can after. Like that's not going to happen to Clayface at the box office. So anyway, but before we finish the show, since we've been all negative about Supergirl, John, the summer of Supergirl does continue, and there is some good marketing going on. So let's talk about that, shall we? They have been talking about how some of the reviews are positive, and there are some people out there who really loved it, the perfect movie to watch in theaters. So James Gunn was simply asking the question, did you get your tickets yet? Because all the folks who reviewed it on Letterboxd did, John, and these reviews actually look kind of nice. What are they saying? They call it John Wick. What is it? John Wick.
The John Wick of the Super Family. Seeing Puppet
Nice.
Crypto was adorable. Computer, I'm gonna need 10 more of these movies. Stat. Never come between a girl and her dog. As a dog parent, I get
Agreed.
it. This is what it's like to be 23. I get it. So yeah.
Also agreed. Yeah, look, obviously there's still a lot of people who love the movie. Like John and I really liked it. Liz liked it. Liz actually had she had a 7 out of 10. So, oh no, she had a 7.5 out of 10. Or was it 7? You had a 7.5 out of 10. Liz had a
We
7,
both
I
had
a
7.5. Liz
7.5.
was 7.
Okay. So I feel like that's a pretty positive score. And there's people who loved it even more than we did. So yeah, it just happens to be, I think it's not even like the people didn't love it enough. I feel like there's not enough people going to see it. That's the problem that we've been talking about. But yeah, did you see this? This was hilarious. Jason Momoa is doing this interview with like an Australian social media influencer. And she's saying like Lobo with an Australian accent, which kind of sounds like Lobo, and they're like almost like there's an R, and Jason Momoa just like can't hold it in, and he just completely derails the interview for like 2 minutes, and he's like, "Please don't dock her for that time. I will answer the question now," and then he just cracks up again. So it's just this, yeah. It's like that's not the right way to say it.
Jason
It's like,
Momoa being Jason
come on.
Momoa. It's
Yeah. I kind of feel bad for the girl, for the influencer, but also.
The
He's
condensation.
just being himself. It's fine. Laubar. It's like, okay. It's great.
Anyway,
there's a lot of Momoa stuff.
But yeah, a lot of Momoa stuff where he's like, "Oh hey, you're cool. I think Lobo would hang out with you."
Yeah.
So
basically, this person, Rachel asked him, like, about like what do you do after you film this movie and stuff, like basically Jason Momoa was like, I did this for my daughter who just graduated college, and we're just gonna like, she's gonna be coming back, and then we're gonna like spend some time together, and I would really love for her to see this, and then she could relate to it. And I'm like, Supergirl in the movie is 23 years old, so I feel like, yeah, I think this movie will hopefully will connect with girls of that age, of similar age, because when you're 23, the world still expects way more, and unfairly so, of girls and women that they shouldn't. And I think this movie certainly showcases a lot of that, and portrays, I think, Kara in a very, very if not necessarily like the glowing light, but certainly in a very realistic light. I think it's like the first time we really see a superhero, like a female-led superhero movie, where the lead character isn't like the perfect role model. Like Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel felt like they were like perfect role models in those movies, even though like they all had like Captain Marvel had issues with like her past memories and stuff, and then obviously Wonder Woman, like, is learning about the world outside of Themyscira, but like we've never seen this. So I do appreciate, I think the value of this movie, aside from the box office, is that it portrays a female superhero that's not perfect, which I think is gonna matter more and more down the line. So yeah, the DCU trending news is interesting. Darkseid casting. Who did they cast for Darkseid? That was interesting. Well, we'll have to look that up. When do we think this hits streaming? Probably, I want to say like late July, early August, maybe around the time that right before Lanterns comes out, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Can you replay that though? Okay, that's funny. I like watching Jason Momoa dancing. That's his jam. His hips don't lie, John. Jason Momoa's hips don't lie.
Yeah, it was, honestly, the song's bad, but him twerking is funny.
His twerking is hilarious. I love seeing it. Oh my god. I didn't know Jason Momoa and Brendan Routh went to high school together. That is wild. I did not know that. Oh, and then they made Foley sound for like the Jason Momoa, for the Lobo scene in the movie. This was fun. I got more of that partnership stuff that Warner Brothers does. I'm gonna look up this Darkseid thing. What's going on with Darkseid? Is there news about Darkseid casting?
I don't know. But this was cool. Anyway.
So the actor who plays one of we might be getting this news soon. This was supposed to happen yesterday, that Mr. Miracle was going to take the spotlight at Annecy. Like, who the cast was hasn't come yet. It's going to come. I can't wait to do it. Tom King was talking about it in January, talking about how, you know, he can't wait to announce the cast for his show. Do you guys see anybody like for name? I don't know where this news is. Is this news happening right now that they've cast a Darkseid? I don't think I see anything. But I'm sure we'll see it when it comes out. Maybe we should do like a Fancast Friday for that. Anyway.
No,
yeah, it's not been revealed yet.
Jessica Cruz tomorrow, so
this is nice. Did you see? Okay, it's a Supergirl promotion all over the world. It's very interesting again because these markets where they choose to highlight are like, obviously they're kind of different from like where like Tom Holland and Zendaya keep showing up all across Europe. So it definitely feels like DC has a bigger foothold in a lot of Asian markets. Like you got Thailand, you got Singapore, Philippines, and you got like South America, like a Peru, Brazil. Obviously, you know, the UK they showcase, Korea. So definitely shows you like where they put in, you know, most of their money marketing the movie. Yeah, it's not about Supergirl why it's trending right now. There wasn't a name, but it was supposed to be announced soon. Says Nexus Point News. They will play live action and the animated voice. Right. So I think they were expecting to hear from Tom King and whoever else about Mr. Miracle today when DC did their presentation, but they didn't talk about Mr. Miracle. They just talked about the other 3 shows they announced. So
which we covered much better anyway. Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember they did do a drone show for Supergirl. We talked about it like last week. Mm-hmm. That was a quick hit. They did do that for Supergirl as well. It wasn't the same exact thing as last year, but I think it was the Superman Museum had that or something special.
Yeah, something like
where they
that.
did like a they had like a whole. It was to the tune of the soundtracks or the theme of Superman and stuff. So that was fun. Anyway, Brian saying, yeah, they were on the same high school soccer team. I really didn't know that Jason Momoa and Brendan Routh went to the same high school. Did you know that, John?
Oh.
Well, cool. Superman and Aquaman, or Superman and Lobo. That's cool. Thank you for the super chat, Master Player. I believe Jason Momoa and his audience of thirsty women will save this movie's box office. You know what, man? I do love that sentiment, and I genuinely hope that actually happens. Dude, I don't know, John. I can't. It's hard.
I
but
don't
you know
think the women are that thirsty.
Yeah,
I think
mean, maybe if he's twerking in the movie like he was there. Yeah. Harold saying, I'm convinced that's why Aquaman made $1 billion. You know what? And hello, Chuck Rod, late to the game. Hope Supergirl will do well this weekend. We'll have lanterns and Clayface. Yeah. And you know what? On that note, I think we will wrap it up for the night. Fancast Friday. Go vote for it.
No, vote for Jessica Cruz. Damn it.
I think right now Jessica Cruz is still winning, but Lobo Director is like in a close second. If I looked at the poll, let me see.
Jessica Cruz, damn it, that's what I want to do. I might make an executive decision and just do it.
It's getting closer. It was 40% Jessica Cruz and 34% Lobo, but the Jessica Cruz poll has dropped to 38% because I think Aaron Paul got a few votes. So if you don't even, it might lose, even not even because Lobo got voted, is because the other options are getting. Guys, I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. I'm not gonna tell you what to vote on, but I mean, hey, those are.
I'm telling you,
both
Jessica
options.
Cruz, bitch. Fucking do it.
Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow on DCU Daily and then Fancast Friday, and we'll see what the winning topic is. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button. We appreciate that. And, of course, hit subscribe if you're new here. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday with DCU Daily. So hit the notification bell. You know when we go live. And until then, until tomorrow, victory mind, keeping hopes alive. It will be fine. Thank you, Enterprising.
Yes.
Later.
Peace.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing, I'm telling you really I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line, I just go do it, I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it, how am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead, don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line, that's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Honka honka!
Fuck Tom King, David Ellison, and Jeff Snyder.